Welcome back. It is time for a lot more jam-packed action because tonight we've got the African qualifiers game day number 2, and we are so glad to be back with all the action. A lot is going to go down today. As we mentioned, you've got the African qualifiers, but we're going to see which nations are going to move on to the African regional finals and which nations we have to say our goodbyes to. It's going to be a lot happening now. I can't go ahead and deal with all the action and the chaos myself, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in my man, Nate the Great, all the way from Australia. Nate, it is so good to be back.
India, thank you for having me. It's time for Africa. We've been waiting to see what this region can do. We might be singing that song a little bit throughout today. If I start breaking out into karaoke, bear with me. We're going to have some fun with it, go around the games because we've had a few changes going on.
Yeah, I'd rather you break out in a dance and shake it like Shakira, but we can figure that audition out later on. But I'll tell you what, we know we have a lot more action today with the African qualifiers, but let's also go ahead and recap what Chris and Vince had a chance to go ahead and show us in terms of the European qualifiers. Here we go.
This is game day 3 in the European qualifier.
The cream of the crop are going to rise to the top.
Oh, that's an ankle breaker! Oh, baby! 4.5 seconds left.
Hits the quick bucket. It's no good. And Croatia with the upset. You love to see it, mate.
Oh, it's an open lane. No, we're going to put a nice slammer jammer on his head.
This is absolutely huge.
Everyone's talking about this Turkey rematch.
That was a shock for us.
Oh!
It was there. We have to beat Turkey to show that we are the best in Europe.
I think we will get full revenge today.
Turkey will win it by 3 to 4 points.
Man, my blood pressure is high. We're going to give a jam boy again. Oh, it's a repeat. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
And Turkey have done it again, Vince. They've broken French hearts. Godzilla strikes again. It's been emotional. I love it. Sign me up for another week.
I mean, if you wanted upsets, if you wanted buzzer beaters, anything you could ask for, Nate, you got on that side of broadcast. But I'm hoping we go ahead and get a chance to see that today as well, because we're going to start eliminating federations. We talked about that, but let's really break down exactly what's going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and continue from game day number 1, where we had 14 nations and federations participating. Unfortunately, 6 of them have withdrawn from the season. That means we've got now a total of 8 federations left competing for the ultimate glory. The way that we're going to break that down is you've got 2 groups of 4, and all nations will go ahead and play each other throughout the day, and all those points will go ahead and head on down to the leaderboard. But before we go ahead and dive into the actual groups, Nate, let's take a look at how the point system will work tonight.
Yeah, we like to make sure that everything's nice and even. We've got different amount of nations in all these regions. So what are we going to do to make it fair? Give them a sort of standard allotment of points. So for Africa today, that means in each group, you'll have the top nation getting 17, second place 15, third nation 14, your bottom nation 11 points. We'll talk about those skill boosters a little bit later, but that just means when we transfer things through to the leaderboard, it keeps things nice and fair all across the world. eFIBA Season 2 is very global.
It sure is indeed. But look, let's not go ahead and gatekeep anymore from the viewers. Let's go ahead and actually show them what Group A looks like, and then also what Group B looks like, Nate.
Looking forward to it. Down to A. For better or for worse, we are excited for today's action. And in Group A, Morocco, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and Senegal. For mine, India, it is the more competitive of the groups, but goodness knows we like to be proven wrong. So hey, Group A for mine, I was going to say 3 of the 4. I honestly think you're going to see not just surprises, anyone could top that group today. And in Group B, I feel like things are a bit more straightforward. Here we are, Group B for you now. Nigeria, Egypt, Algeria, and Tunisia. Now again, respect where respect is due. I've been proven wrong throughout eFIBA Season 2. India's predictions have been on point. For mine, you've got one nation in Group B, clearly on top, where I'm saying in Group A, India, anyone can win it. Hopefully, I'm very wrong. Hopefully, those skill boosters come into play. And when we do see those leaderboards, I'm looking very bashful indeed. In terms of the specifics, let me get around to each game, and I'll give you my sort of points differential that I've been doing throughout this tournament, so what you might expect throughout the day.
I'll tell you what, I've got my post-it notes ready. I've got my pen that disassembled, but I've still got the ink. I will write down your predictions and just letting you know how right and wrong you are. But we've talked about the groups. You say Group A is a group of death, if you will. But here's the beauty of it, though. The overall, let's actually go ahead and take a look at how the overall leaderboard looks like before we get into today's matchup, so we know where we stand. So there you have it in front of you. You've got Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, and Nigeria. Those are your top 4, which means that if we did not play games today, those 4 federations would move on to the African Regional Finals. But since we are playing today, you know that's how much all those federations will need to go ahead and compete. And the way that it's going to work is the top 4 nations will meet in 2 semifinals before the winner will be found in the final match, which is going to be the nation that goes ahead and moves on to the World Finals in Jönköping in Sweden. Now that we've talked about the leaderboards, I got to ask you, man, do you see any shuffling happening from this top 4?
I feel like that's the guarantee of today, having a look at those groups. And again, one more time, one last time, hopefully. That is just my opinion. Twitch chat, we want to know, do you think the groups are not like fair or unfair, but maybe one's a little bit stronger? India, to answer your question directly, yes, yes, yes. We're going to see a massive shift in that leaderboard at the end of today.
Well, I'll tell you what, we will, again, keep track of what your predictions are. But here's something else that we've got to talk about. The reason that you and I are here, the reason the federations are playing is because it is all about the community. We want to put the community first. We've been saying that, but for the folks that are just tuning in, though, Nate, what exactly does that mean?
Oh, it's just such a different tournament. eFIBA Season 2, we're hoping that this will be a many, many years. Season 3, Season 4, Season 5, and more. And it started with the community. It'll end with the community, and it's community through and through. I saw some comments getting excited about Morocco earlier. You're going to see them featured today. And friends, we want your involvement throughout. Do you want to see particular builds from the players? Do you got any questions when we're doing the interviews? What games do you want to see full stop? And do not forget, particularly about that survey, exclamation mark survey. I'm typing it out right now to spam it. I've missed enter, so I'll give that a go and a heads up in a little bit. You can win an eFIBA hoodie, FIBA basketballs, copies of NBA 2K, get those game codes. You get rewarded for a few minutes of your time, and you get to shape what this competition will look like seasons down the line. I think that's a pretty good deal.
Absolutely. We want to get the community involved. There's another thing that I'll personally need the community's help with, but we'll get to that later on. But right now, though, it's time to dive into Nate's favorite skill boosters.
You know, baby. You know.
All right, as we go ahead and enter game day number 2, the skill boosters are not the same as last week. We like to switch things up a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 4 active skill boosters for today. Nate, number 1, we've got a nation that concedes less than 30 points in a game. You got to play that defense if you want the extra credit. Number 2, 1 or more players need to go ahead and get a triple-double, which to me means keep an eye on the 4 and the big man at the 5. And of course, number 3 is a nation having an assist-to-points ratio of 35% or more in a game. And the 4th is going to be a nation that's winning against an opponent with 10 points or more on the overall leaderboard prior to today's round. Nate, what's the favorite one that you'll be keeping an eye on for tonight?
Yeah, I think focusing on those top 3 tonight, because of course we want them nice and consistent with how we've had it for the other regions. I love number 3, fam. The assist to points ratio. I said this during rehearsal. It's also the one skill booster that no matter how many notes, posted notes or otherwise, India, I can't keep up with it. We need the team to be doing that maths for us in the truck, getting it done so that at the end of the broadcast, you might think you know who's on top of the leaderboard, but you truly don't until those skill booster points have been added. So number 3, share that ball around. You know, feed the rock. We've seen triple doubles, sure. Go for all 3 skill boosters. I want to see that happen, but I just love it when you see really good team basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a lot of fun. It should be great. Now, you know, we've talked about who the favorites were coming into, even we played one day of the Africa Regional Finals. But Morocco, obviously the defending champs, you expect them to go ahead and play well. You saw them leading things, so there's no surprise whatsoever. Matter of fact, you have Morocco. I'm looking at the previous scores. They were just dominating. I mean, they beat Nigeria 120-12. Just straight domination all across the board. I think it's safe to say that they are the team, the federation, with a target on their back.
again, thankfully, it means that there's sort of opportunities. The way that the leaderboard, the skill boosters, etc., is done. If there is a nation that's predominantly on top, don't worry, we get to those regional finals and you still get a chance to take them down. But you can see me laughing now because I did have a little bit of a laugh when I saw those groups revealed. Morocco, 22 points on the leaderboard as it stands. When I said expect things to get shuffled around, I'm unsure if they're part of that equation. 2 to 8, fair enough. Like, mix it up. Those top 4 spots are just like crazy. What do you want to use? They could change. Anything could happen. Honestly, trying to work down those predictions and whatnot. One result, one swing means it could be different, but Morocco on top for a reason.
Yeah, and we'll end up seeing if they are able to continue their hot streak, because we've seen that from all the other regions, right? From the North Americas, you've got Team USA that's continued their dominance. From South America, you had Brazil that looked a little shaky, but in that fourth quarter, the second half, they came back strong and they beat Argentina to hold on to their #1 spot as well. So we'll see if Morocco is able to hold on to that train. Of course, we've got a lot more action that just happened with Europe. There are still nations there that we need to figure out in terms of who is actually going to end up in Sweden. So it should be a lot of fun as well. In a few moments, we will have an interview, but Nate, well, actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to hold on to the prediction question of things. Let's go ahead and get on our man, Jerome, who is our eFIBA co-streamer from Ghana. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, man. How are you enjoying the eFIBA Season 2?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure doing this whole thing with eFIBA. It's actually Ghana's first time playing in the eFIBA, and it's interesting to see how they match up against countries like Morocco. I mean, in day one, we kind of went on a winning streak where we beat Tunisia, but in that final game, we lost to Egypt. But it's getting there for them, and I feel like watching the whole thing, eFIBA Season 2 has been incredible.
Can I get in there real quick, because it's an absolute pleasure, and I love that you've mentioned Morocco. Guess what the first game of the day is? Guess who you're thinking about right now? How are you feeling taking on Morocco so early today?
Well, I'm feeling super hyped, and I know I've spoken to some of the players, and they are also very excited. When you get a chance to face the African champions, you definitely want to play your best, but you know you are going to be giving a very tough time. And when you get the chance to beat them, you might send a message across the whole of the conference that you are here to stay. So it's going to be interesting. Already, we've been beaten by a conference finalist last year in Egypt, and we are going to face the champions themselves in Morocco. What a first game we have in store for the Ghanaian team. I can't wait for it to start.
You know, you mentioned how it's Ghana's first time competing at such a high level. What type of pride do you get, especially when you're co-streaming? I mean, what are the fans like in the Twitch chat? What's the support been like from the community of Ghana?
Well, the support has been very, very massive. Building up to eFIBA Season 2, everybody was like, when is it going to start? In fact, when 2K24 came out, everybody kept asking, when is it going to start? When is it going to start? So it was very interesting to see fans, players really invested in eFIBA Season 2. And it's been incredible so far. The support from the Ghanaians back home has been very massive. And it's such an honor for us to be on the big stage.
Well, I guess the big question, at least that I have to ask today, is looking at those top 4 spots. It's what you want. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Ghana are 5th, just outside them. Do you believe Ghana will finish in the top 4 today?
It's very possible. Things are tied at the top. I think we are tied with Morocco with 15 points. In day one, I didn't really see us utilize the skill boosters. But in day 2, I feel like the boys are aware of what is at stake and what they need to do. That first game against Morocco is just going to show us if the Ghanaian team is really up for it. And I feel like if we get a result there, everybody has to watch out for us. Team Ghana coming in strong.
Well, hey, I look forward to that momentum continuing. You're right in 5th place, and Nate said there's going to be a shakeup. So we'll see if Ghana's part of that shakeup if they look to enter top 4. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all the love and support that you and the folks in Ghana have provided thus far, and wish you the best of luck. I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yeah, thank you too.
Absolutely, and we will go ahead and have gameplay here shortly. But Nate, we talked about the madness of Europe from last week. So I want to go ahead and give a little teaser on what folks can expect next time that we see Europe. So let's actually go ahead and throw up the leaderboard so we can see what that looks like and who's moving on, who's where. So here is the leaderboard. You've got Turkey at the #1 spot, followed by Spain, France, Portugal, and Great Britain. You can see right now you've got the top 5 that would go ahead and advance. Are you at all surprised taking a look at this leaderboard?
Oh man, eFIBA Season 2, I don't think surprise even starts to cut it. Having a look at Greece, I thought they were a lock for top 5 based on those game day 1 performances. Then things start to change, and then you see with Turkey or France, are we going to get revenge? No, it's the same old story. So one decision, one turnover, one big bucket is the reason that the leaderboard even looks like it does right now. When you think about all the games, the hundreds, the thousands of minutes of action that we've had. Who knows what the final results, your champions might be. Turkey, yeah. They're #1 for a reason, and they should be. There's a reason we're talking about them even now tonight. But Great Britain in 5th, don't rule out a big run from them.
Well, what's interesting is that you have Great Britain that's at the 5th spot, and you've got Greece right behind them. And our man Vince has just also told us that you had Great Britain that got skipped up because of skill boosters, which is heartbreaking for the Federation of Greece. So it goes back to, you got to keep in mind, the federations do when it comes to skill boosters. You had, I believe it was Lebanon that went ahead and skipped ahead of Saudi Arabia. Now it was Greece that went ahead and lost the 5th spot, the final spot, to Great Britain. But here's the beauty of it all for the folks at home. This is not final. So the leaderboard that you're watching is not set in stone. It can go ahead and change when they continue playing next week. But the question then comes back to you, Nate. Do you feel like we will get any of the movement? Because to me, it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th spot that I feel like we can see a little bit of a shuffle. I think the first 3 are kind of set in stone in terms of they're going to qualify. Maybe seeding one between Spain and France might differ.
Look, if I'm allowed to, I'd like to include at least Croatia in there as well. We had some really good interviews and talking about their setup and their training camp and film review and whatnot. Croatia have been one of those teams that have been in every game that they've played. Really close margins. Unfortunately, that's them anyway, included close margins of defeat. If Turkey are top of the leaderboard, in part because of their clutch situations, if Croatia can develop that clutch gene, should you choose to use that term, even jumping up into 3rd, and forget about the skill boosters. They are the difference why Great Britain are rightly ahead of Greece. Let's not make any mistake. It's not, fortune or fluke or luck or anything like that. I respect Vince saying, that's the reason they sort of overtook them and whatnot. No, that's not how I look at it. The skill boosters are part of this competition. Great Britain rightly on top of Greece. I'm just saying I expect Greece to respond.
Yeah, and when it comes down to Europe, the leaderboard that you're seeing, we talked about how it can go ahead and change, but what's beautiful is about, for example, in the North Americas, right? You had where Team USA, since they got the #1 seed, they're going to automatically play in the finals, and then Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic has to go and play in the semifinals. The way that it's going to work for the Europe side of things is that you have #1 and #2 that'll just go ahead and skip the play-in and automatically go into the semifinals. And the 6th nation will then come through the lucky loser. We haven't talked about the lucky loser quite a bit yet, but that's another bracket where, if I remember correctly, you've got Ukraine in there, you've got Sweden in there, you've got Poland in there, and there's one region I'm forgetting from the graphic that we put out. So just to break it down, you've got the 1st seed and the 2nd seed that automatically go to the semifinals. Everyone else is going to go ahead and have a play-in, and that 6th seed is going to come in through the lucky loser bracket. I love the name, by the way. It's like a backhanded compliment. It's like you're lucky, but you're a loser. But you get to go ahead and play for a chance to come to Sweden anyway.
Yeah, the loser bracket just never sat right with me. Anytime you or I do a league like that, you're like, they're not a loser. Like, they can make it through to the finals. It just sounds so unnecessarily negative. And when you can make your way all the way through, you should be like, come on, you're not a loser at all. Imagine if you win the whole thing. We're going to say you came through the lucky loser bracket. They'd just be saying, we were warming into the tournament. We saved our big games for when they count. I will say that the only reason I half understand what you're going on, India, is because I made a video on it, and then the team at eFIBA like edited it, not just in half, but like decimated it because I kept going on and on. Hopefully their version of it is a lot more simple than the way I tried to explain at the start, that those top 2 spots is what it's all about.
I mean, listen, whenever I do voiceovers, it takes me an hour to get a 30-second clip. So I totally understand where you're coming from there. But we do want the chat to go ahead and get involved. So we want you to hit up exclamation survey in the chat. Let us know how we're doing, what you want to see, what you want to change up. If you want Nate to go bald, whatever the case might be, we want to hear from you. We want your feedback. And here's another thing, chat. We've got about, what is it? I'm looking at all their channels. We got about at least 1,000 of you watching. I've been told that I've got a catchphrase. Nate and I were talking about this as we're waiting on gameplay. I'll go ahead and bring this up. My catchphrase, or my crutch word, or my crutch phrase, if you will, is let's go ahead. So if you hear me in the chat say let's go ahead, you just got to, get my attention. For every time I say let's go ahead, not counting the 3 times I just said it, Nate will do 10 push-ups. He's agreed to it. Don't even worry about what he says. But that's what it is. That's my crutch phrase that I hope to only say maybe like 3 to 5 times in the 2-3 hour broadcast that we'll have.
I also just typed it out in Twitch chat trying to get you to do the 10 push-ups, and then you switched it up on me. So well played, well played. I've absolutely just stuffed myself over there. It's one of those fun things that we enjoy. It's a community-driven tournament. And I tell you what, RGM Silver, we've been talking about you, maybe talking about the purple court that I love and maybe you don't love just as much. Everyone's got their things that they like to go on about. Keep us honest, chat. Let us know what we're saying, what we maybe shouldn't be talking about as much. And if it's down to your nation, I'm going to be talking about Morocco a lot today. I hope you can understand why. If I'm going on about them too much, if you're saying there's another African nation that needs the hype, get in the chat, let me know.
Yeah, we are very neutral. We try to stay as neutral as possible, but we're also human beings. So if you feel that way, let us know. But the best way to let us know is exclamation survey. And our bosses read that. So of course, be nice about it. But Nate, as we get closer and closer to gameplay as well, Ghana, I mean, just right outside 5th, outside looking in. It'll end up being a little bit interesting to see if they kind of sneak in, but it's all about those skill boosters, man, to see if we can go ahead and just jump them. And of course, just a reminder of how the other nations or how the other regions are going down, right? United States, you have Team USA that's already made it to the regional finals. And then you have Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic that are going to play in the semifinals in a best of 1. The winner of that will move on to play Team USA in the finals. And then the winner of that punches their ticket to head out to Sweden at the end of November. That's North America. South America, you had Brazil and Argentina. They go ahead and qualify as the 1-2 seed in that order. Brazil still undefeated. Argentina has 2 losses, both of them coming at the hands of Brazil. But Nate, it's going to be tough to beat a team 3 times. Matter of fact, it's 4 times, because that regional finals, along with the North America one, is going to be a best of 3. And I mean, Argentina's got to beat them twice if they want to move on to Sweden and pull off the upset.
You're going to be hearing all of us, to be honest, talking about these sort of equations and whatnot in the next week. We've got about 5 days until we really start deciding these spots with regional finals and whatnot. And again, we've got regions with different sizes. So we've already got a question about the leaderboard points. I'm sure we'll get them up again at some point during tonight. And of course, make sure you stay tuned until right at the end when we add those skill booster points on there. Point being, yes, you've got some nations playing the same nation more than in other regions. It's just to do with the size of the regions, how many nations were keen to compete, the federations getting behind them and supporting them. South America's been one of those where Brazil, Argentina, we want to see again. I want to watch a best of 7, a best of 17, because every one of those games has drama, has excitement. In Africa, where we got tip-off, baby. Big game to start off with. You heard it from co-streamer extraordinaire from Ghana ourselves. Boateng, baby. Let's get it on.
Well, you had Silva say, I've never seen the nations of Africa playing. Very excited. Let's go. So here we go. You've got Morocco taking on Ghana. Morocco at the top spot. Ghana on the outside looking in, knocking on the door of the top 4. And, of course, you also have Morocco that's in red. Ghana that's in white. As we get going here, pass to the left side. Shoots that one, gets the green. That was an open shot. Thought that we had a little bit of a contest, but apparently not. And of course, as we always do, we'll keep you posted on all the matchups throughout the night. As you've got a quick 6-2 lead for Morocco. Ghana bringing it up the court. Dots it to the left side. Nothing there. Reset back over to the top of the key. Morant. Nice little dribble moves. Have the open shot. Can't get that one to drop, though. And now we're going the other way. All the way to the left. That's going to be a shot up there. Can't get that one to go.
Going to be very respectful, India, throughout today, but Morocco, comfortable favorites heading in. We heard Ghana making their debut. I'm not sure that my calculations mean that Ghana necessarily have got top 4. They're going to come up from 5th to 4th with a big jam there. Morocco stamping home a point that I could go on about, add some information, add some stats to, some context. Point being, expect Morocco to win this by about 30-ish, and having a look at those skill boosters along the way.
Calling a little bit of a prediction about 30-ish. We'll see how that all plays out. Ghana, when they had gone ahead, they haven't played Morocco from what I see. They played Tunisia, which they won by 3 points. They went ahead and lost to Egypt by about 11 points. So they've got their work cut out for them as Morocco comes out fast with a quick 8-point lead with still about 3 minutes left to go in the first. Dots it over to the right side. Has a defender right there in front of him. Back over up top. Smart decision not to go for it. Defender tried to get a steal on the pluck on the right side. Nothing there. That shot won't go. As now we're going on the fast break opportunity. Not the catch and release that you want, as he does go ahead and miss that one. That's gotta suck, right, Nate? When you feel like you're on a fast break opportunity, but the catch animation just kind of completely throws you off whack.
Always enjoy anyone that has or the confidence rather, to take a mid-range shot when you can maybe drive in, go for a lay or for a dunk, but you're like, you know what? Same amount of points. I've got the confidence to time it, particularly early on in the game, and when you're already up 10-2. I think that's the sort of opportunity. That's the time to test your midi, not waiting until it's 3rd or 4th quarter and you need it to seal the game or make a big statement point, if you will.
Right now, they're making a statement of 12-2. As Morant looking to bring it up the court. He's got the dribble moves, but he hasn't been able to time his shot properly. As they're playing a little bit of a 5-out offense now, giving it to somebody else to handle the rock for the time being. Oh, he finds a little bit of space, doesn't take the shot, dribbles into the defender. And now this is where you just pass just to get something up in the air. Great offensive rebound, kicks it back outside. Back over to Morant on the right side. Has a pick set for him. The space is there. Defender doesn't step up, but he misses the shot. And once again, we saw this midi get taken earlier. This time, though, they knock it down to extend the lead to 12.
It's a very fortuitous situation when you can just practice your midi, basically. The first game of the day and you're feeling that good, that on point, is one of those things. Maybe different nations in the future will be able to step up with the big man, big from distance, making it 17-2. It's why we're so grateful, so excited that eFIBA is looking seasons into the future. Again, exclamation mark survey right now help to shape this wonderful global competition. Don't go diving for the survey like Homie did, diving for the ball over the scorer's table right there. I wonder if maybe even as early as next year, we're going to have Ghana heavily competing against Morocco, improved showing, so putting pressure on from the start, rather than waiting to game day 2 when you're 17-2 down first quarter and it's not even over just yet.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough outing, like Silva said in the chat, for Ghana. But they've got plenty of time to change things up, but not if you continue going up against a big man like that and giving up the easy dunk the other way. As the lead just continues to expand here in the closing seconds of the first. Got his takeover on the bottom right. You see the sharp take. Has a pick set for him. They're doing plenty of that. Pick and pop. A lot of ball movement, but they're just not able to time their shot, as finally he says, you know what? I'm getting the offensive boards, and I'm just going to go up with it.
And it will be a paint-heavy offense for Ghana if sort of what we've seen so far is anything to go by, and it should be really good basketball knowledge, really good IQ, but the timing with jump shot just maybe not there. To be quite honest, 1 through 5. The paint play, including Morant, it's a very Morant-like build. Expect some fun lays particularly.
Great find on the left side right before the final seconds. That is Master. Or is it Mastur? I'm not quite sure exactly how to pronounce it.
I go Mastur, but
you
yeah,
go.
again, always happy to be wrong. Twitch chat if you know better.
Mastua. As he's got his play take, excuse me, he's got his sharp take, bringing it up the court. Has the slip and gets it to his teammate. And that one's not going to go. Ball's in the air. Nice offensive rebound. Kicks it back outside. Mastur. Boy, I'd love it if he shot that one from that deep. He thought about it. Bails out down low, and they get that one to go. What a nice 2 point. Sometimes it's just 2K is just going in your favor.
Like the shot meter as well. Some unique ones out there, and some that, to be honest, I haven't checked out or seen. Handles from Morant. Again, lots of confidence, but timing not even close. Particularly after you miss those first few 2K24, it's very punishing. Would love to see Morant driving into the paint a little bit more. To be honest, even just once, I don't think it's started yet.
Not at all. Oh, he's going to do a little bit of a hook shot. Can't get it to go, though. And once again, fast break opportunities are insane right now for Ghana. Excuse me, for Morocco, as Ghana's not able to get back in time to defend them. And they just keep on giving up the easy points. Nice cut there from the right side as they want to extend this one and cut into the deficit.
What Morant does do by hunting for the 3 is allow his teammates to go on those cuts, keep the space in the paint nice and open, and good enough communication on point to find that feed. Again, the win might be looking a little elusive as you get stripped, as you get dunked on, go fetch that and go again. But there is way for a bit of a game plan moving forward. If Morocco are clear favourites in this group, as I said, then there's a way forward, and it is working on that pick and roll, making sure you've got the comms on point so that when your corners are cutting, you can feed it nice and early.
You had a little bit of a pick and pop situation, but the defender was right there in front of them as they lose that ball once again. Oh, and I don't know if he thought he could dunk it all the way from the free throw line or not, but they'll take the 3 over the 2. It is 31-9 with about 2:30 left to go in the second.
India, 47% contested. You see that red pop up and you get worried unless there's green before it. That means that you're timing your shot impeccably. Since the patch, you do not get a speed up animation. You need to nail it. That green window would have been so small, and therefore the timing was just perfection.
Let's talk about that patch. Are you happy with it on the offensive side of things?
I just want stability, man, in my life and in 2K24. I ain't worried too much about whether you speed it up, whether you're slowing it down, but sometimes I wonder if the feedback can be a bit all over the place, and we want this, now we don't want this. Just let me practice and get some consistency going.
Amen to that. Stability, consistency. It's all that we ask for in life as Morant bringing it up the court. I feel like we'd have a Dr. Phil session just based on those topics, but we'll save that for another stream, another broadcast, maybe something in Sweden. But here's Morant, takes the shot. Once again, just continues to miss, and that's going to be out of bounds. Going to stay here with Ghana, though. Shout out to Vince for hanging out with us today. Hope you're doing well, buddy. You know, I got a chance to check out Vince's Instagram, and the man, I don't know how his knees are still together. I mean, I could not do the dance moves and the moving around and everything that he does.
Man, I thought you were even just going to be talking about the dunks. Like, he's very athletic, of course, former baller. He'd still say he is a baller. When I first looked at his Instagram when we were doing the 3x3 for FIBA, many years ago now, it did make me want to dunk again. Maybe I should be looking at my three-point shot, because from range with Mamba take, yes please, Morocco keep on impressing. And on Vince again, congratulations, brother, because you got me not just wanting to dunk the ball, you got my knees sort of hurting, and maybe it's going to be another few years before I start to attempt it again.
How tall are you again?
6'2", you know, give or take a few
Stop
centimeters.
6'2" is all I needed to hear before I got annoyed. Am I the only? Yeah, I think from the four of us, I might be the only one that's in the 5-foot category. But anyway, moving on. Another fast break opportunity. The left wing was open for a 3. I'm glad that during the application process or the audition, they didn't ask how tall we were.
I think we've not quite had this chat exactly before. We had something similar, and I said you're tall in heart, tall in spirit, something along those lines. You got the confidence of a 7-foot man.
You didn't even know what fake compliment you gave me. Well, here we go. I'll be down with that, Sonny. Listen, as long as it's 2K, I can't do real life. I can pretend to shoot it like Curry from outside, but here's Morant. Bringing it up the court. Gets it to the big fella down low, but you can see the defender right there with his hands up, not moving a muscle. Ball was tipped, but Morant has it once again. Got to get it out. Defender didn't hit a button there. That could have been stolen, but 5 seconds. So far, great defense. Morant was open with the lane there. That's going to be a miss on the drive-in. It's a 3-on-1 situation, and that's going to be the end of the first half. It is Morocco 38, Ghana 12, and just a dominating performance so far. I want to talk about Brax. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's got 18 points on 8 for 9, knocking down all of his 3-point shots thus far. The man's got more points than Ghana headed into the second half.
Yeah, well, you've just absolutely crushed the analysis there, India, because Brax, however you want to pronounce it, 48 points in that massive, massive win on game day 1 against Nigeria, who, by the way, only scored 12 points in that entire game. So on the flip side of it, while you've got the apparent lock, anything but, it's basically a second shooting guard. He plays as such. The steal's going to come predominantly from shooting guard in Bilal. At least defensively, you can say, well, look, they scored 120 against Nigeria. We held them to 30-something. That's feeling pretty good. And hey, Nigeria only scored 12. We got 12 and a half, so there's a way forward.
You know, I'm laughing because Dirk's in the chat about how all I do is just walk for fun. And between our rehearsal and showtime, I literally did just go on a walk because that's what I like to do. What are you going to say? We've got a few pounds to lose before we get to Sweden. My shot's not that bad, though. My shot's not that bad.
Yeah, we're going to be able to actually play some ball over there. I'm not sure what the team have got planned. I know we're going to be hard at work, making sure we are the liveliest stage performance esport at DreamHack, but surely we've got a little bit of time to shoot the rock.
Oh, man, it'll be a lot of fun, no question about it. By the way, chat, I am keeping an eye, along with Nate as well, on the other games that are about to start. You actually have Senegal that's about to go ahead and tip off here just momentarily. So as those games get started, I promise you at the very least, we will get you an update on the score because we want to show you as competitive gaming as possible. And again, we'll show you just a few minutes the Senegal and Ivory Coast when we are diving into that one. But for now, it's Morant that's got a tall task to come back in this one. They are in the 5th spot, looking to climb up to 4, but they might go ahead and drop back. But for now, it's a nice 3 from the big fella.
Very nicely done indeed. As I said, Morant, I want to see him in the paint. Does leave the opportunity for your big man to be popping. Hit that from range, particularly when Morant, respectfully, is very lating everything from range. Conceding a quite easy, gentle 2 there. Offensively, why not? If anyone gets it going in 2K24, give them a refund. Let them shoot again.
I want my money back. Trying to find a dribble spacing. Finally goes to the left side. Defender from the left corner comes and pinches. You know, what really separates the best 2K federations compared to the other ones, as we'll go ahead and jump into Senegal and Ivory Coast here. Take a look at what that matchup will look like as we're just a minute or 2 into that one. But I was going to say, Nate, some of the, you know, on the broadcast, we try not to go ahead and scout for the other federations, but it's hard not to see the great plays that some federations call in terms of schemes that are outside of just a regular Fifi or reverse Fifi or anything like that. That's really what separates the great teams.
Yeah, it's one of those where I wonder if we do some additional content around it to break it down live when we've got multiple games going on. I start to wonder how much I'm now not paying attention to the next player, the next player, the next player. But in terms of plays, rotations and stuff like that, maybe we go into stack, reverse stack, even just like a swing, something like that to maybe, I don't want to say help some of these newer nations and whatnot, but maybe explain to some of our more casual viewers that it's not just you get ball, press a few buttons and whatnot. They are running plays that you might have seen in another competition IRL earlier today that you see in FIBA basketball. It's no different to a very heavy way where you see basketball coaches working, for example, in the 2K League and leading them to glory. So it translates really well.
So you keep giving production ideas. Nico's going to hit you up and be like, yeah, perfect. Clip that. Let's do a segment. So now you just got your homework assigned to you, buddy. Good job. You're the kid who at the end of the day is like, oh, you're the kid who at the end of the day is like, oh, don't we have to turn in our assignments? That's you.
That is who I used to be, definitely. I'm bringing him back, man. If I could do it for, what, like grade 2 mathematics, I should be doing it for eFIBA Season 2.
The reason I was happy with my name being Zunaid is because I always presented on day number 2. I never had to go first, unless obviously it went reverse. Then it really sucked. But regardless, here we go. Ivory Coast looking to extend the lead as they do. And by the way, you've got Senegal that's in green. And then you've got Ivory Coast in yellow.
I think they'd probably want it to be called an orange, just to
Yeah,
make
you
sure you
probably
stay on their good side.
You're right. Orange. I would say I'm getting old, so my eyes aren't that great, but you're older than me, so I can't go with that.
Maybe I'm
Let's
just
take a
like
look
sitting
at-
that close to the monitor. I'm just a massive fanboy. That's why I got asked to do eFIBA Season 2. I'm like, are you serious? I'm going to be in the chat anyway. Like, I'm just a fanboy behind the mic, really.
You've got Senegal. I'm taking a look at their previous matchup. They did actually play the same team here, and they lost 51-29. And of course, they're down by 5 here, so we'll see if they're able to make any adjustments to come back in this one. But they have faced this team before, and they have lost to them by 20 plus. We'll see if this one's any closer, or if they can pull off the upset. It's a nice cut from the right side. Defender fell asleep on the right corner.
It's one of those where they sort of levels. I guess I was talking about the groups and quite forthrightly at the start saying, hey, make sure you stay tuned in to the end of the broadcast to make sure you see those skill boosters added on, because regardless of results, fam, there are objectives that you can do for points that count towards the standings and the leaderboard specifically. To be quite honest, Sods, it's more than Cote d'Ivoire. Sure, they're going to probably win this game. If you want the pre-match prediction from me, it's give or take 45 points. That sounds rather comfortable. Then you look at Algeria, who they played, and they lost to 77-52. So that's levels again. India, we're in these, if I can say, developing regions, progressive regions that we love. We want more nations getting involved. eFIBA Season 3, and I'm talking about how Ghana are going to be back better than ever next season. There are, I want to use the term like tiers, levels, where teams don't even just have that basketball culture going, they've got the 2K culture going, coaches, and that consistency, regularity that you need to be this good at the game in October. It's so good that eFIBA Season 2 is so close to the launch date of the new title, if that makes sense, that NBA 2K24 comes out. We get to have an esports league. But the more professional you are, the more ready you are, and the bigger those margins are going to be early on.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that quite a bit. Now let's go ahead and dive into Egypt taking on Algeria in about 30 seconds or so. As you see, this one is 16-2. Let's see if we can update the folks at home about what's going on. It is Morocco 58 and Ghana 24. So that one's still a blowout as they just tipped off the fourth quarter. And of course, you've got a comfortable lead here. And we'll get the other gameplay to you here in a few moments. That shot. Rebound secured, running the fast break, but the defense gets back. Left hash is wide open. He dots it up to him. Oh, it's going to be a mystery whether he made it or not. But I'm going to go ahead and say he did.
go straight across. As I said, multiple games. I didn't say it. India said it. Multiple games going on, skipping across, trying to stay in the action. Again, Twitch chat, you let us know which nation, if you like, you're particularly keen on, or if it's just a game between two neutrals that you think is going to be good. Watch out for Algeria. A point to prove when they have a look at that leaderboard and they see Morocco in #1. Friends, that is a fierce rivalry where if you see this in a finals, expect, if we get those webcams, face cams, a lot of passion and intensity. But what they can do for now is talk to Egypt, again, who are third on the leaderboard, and make sure that separation, those tiers I was talking about, are as clear to everyone watching along at home as they are to me.
Again, chat, don't forget you can hit exclamation survey in the chat. Let us know what you want to see fixed. And don't forget to also keep track of how many times I say let's go ahead. Because every time I say it, Nate will do at least 5 push-ups, if not 10, as they're looking for another fast break opportunity. Should have gotten it to him a little bit earlier. Better late than never, though.
Just say what needs to be fixed, by the way, India. What's broken? I think everyone's having a great time, man.
Yeah. I would agree with you.
Nothing's perfect.
I think they just want 100 federations instead of 61.
Yeah. Or like you could have gone with my voice, which does break when I get way too excited. I understand now.
Slices through the defense. Now, see this. I know it's only been like less than 2 minutes, but this seems like a bit of a more competitive game so far than the other two that we've been watching.
Yeah, as mentioned, it's sort of, if you have a look at the leaderboard, it's a good overall indicator where you had Algeria second, Egypt third, and having a look at Nigeria in fourth is going to be an interesting point to make a little bit later. And I want us to keep it respectful. You hear me talking about, I use the term developing nations when it comes to 2K, the likes of Senegal. We want them here. We want them next season. And all the seasons going on, the only way that you're going to improve is by playing the best. But Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, it's going to go one way. I don't want to put it that straightforwardly. And again, skill boosters, so you've got to keep watching. Egypt, Algeria, however, I've said Egypt Algeria want to make a big statement here and say Morocco, big rivalry and whatnot. Egypt got a massive opportunity to make me look quite the fool. And of course, overtake Algeria on that leaderboard. Maybe even have a look at Morocco in first.
And the last 2 minutes of Morocco and Ghana will go ahead and showcase to you here. And you're absolutely right. When it comes to those nations that are just playing for the first time in 2K, like Ghana, I mean, playing for the first time and coming into today, they were in 5th place. That's a big deal. That's not easy to do. We've seen a lot of federations struggle. Unfortunately, my beloved Mother India has struggled quite a bit, hoping they have a better outcome when they show up for game day #2. But mad props to the federations that are starting to compete, starting to put together a roster and get the experience as we see a steal from Morocco. Slamming it home, 73-29.
It's one catchphrase that doesn't need to be done by anyone else. The slam and jammer, Vince has got that on lock. No push-ups, by the way, for any time that happens, because I ain't got the energy, the stamina to pull that one off. Timeout called, by the way, from Morocco. A bit of a curious one with 107 remaining and up so comfortably. Maybe it's time to run a play or two. India. Here are the differences potentially, or you're just feeding Brax to try and get him 40 piece or maybe even 50.
Well, he's got 38 at the moment. Just needs another basket to cross the 40. Now Stewart. Looking to slice it, dice, gets it back up top. Nothing there. He's going to go and shoot the midi. He's going to get it to go. 75-29.
Moran just firmly placed on him in the corner. I don't know if the triple-double is on it or, and then you look in the top right. Don't worry about Brax with a triple-double. That is secured. Get yammed on at the same time. Maybe it's just a bit of, I don't know. we don't want you to get 40. I'll just call it like it is. You've already got enough. I'm just going to sit on you. I'm not moving. Too bad. You've had your day out today. Congratulations. Now take a seat in the corner.
He's outscoring the federation he's played against. And after this one, we'll go ahead and get to Egypt versus Algeria. We'll keep you posted on all the other games that we've got. Matter of fact, it's Ivory Coast, that's 29, Senegal 4. That's the matchup there. as we've got
Rax
about
gets
10
that
seconds
40,
left in this
by
one.
the way. 10 and 14 for your point guard. Have a good time. Timeout called because you don't want the clock dribbled out. Just for those playing along at home, it's not a disrespect thing. It happens down under as well. In Africa, you play until the final whistle.
Gotta go ahead and just run this one out now. Trying to do a little bit of a post hook to end things. And just like the game itself, it doesn't go. And that's going to be the end of it. 77-31. It's Morocco that continues their dominance on the backs of Braxo, who has scored 40 points on 17 for 19. Only missed 2 shots, one of them being from the perimeter. As we go ahead and jump on to Egypt, taking on Algeria. And Algeria's got a 1-point lead with about 17 seconds left. They are the team in white. Egypt with a beautiful cut from the left side.
Love it. 11-10 if you've talking about tiers, developing nations, and all that stupid terminology that Nate brings you. Let's just lock and load into what could be a classic. We were talking at top of show about Brazil, Argentina, one of those big rivalries. I was saying Algeria, Morocco, fam. Let's throw Egypt straight into the mix. We might get some big games even before that regional fight.
Boy, oh boy. 11-10. Shout out to the regions and the federations that are showing up to compete. Might just be a quick day, Nate.
I will say that once we get to
You
Sweden,
struggled to make a comment.
whoever makes it through, I'm like, I instantly go for the positive, man. It's just the way my brain works with
I love it.
nations that, again, you're down by 40 or 50. So what are we going to be like, you know? What are you doing here? And some of the comments I haven't enjoyed on social media that have now ceased since those first few days as we start to explain that some of these nations are newer. You talked about India before, and some of the comments were a bit untoward in my opinion, because how are you going to improve? You play against the best, you work out what they're doing, you can learn from that, you rock up next year to go a little better again. I feel like that's been something that we've heard from quite a few nations. Stoked to be here. Talking about Southeast Asia, for example, we know we're not going to win, I believe was one of the comments, but we're going to get better. And that type of attitude, I guess, really got me captivated and rooting for some of these nations going forward.
Well, I know whenever we call the Southeast games, I'm going to ask the Philippines about Moody's comments when he said he believes that, what he said, I think he said Australia was the second best region outside of USA.
I think he was talking about commentators, don't worry.
Oh, is that what? Nice. Well played. Well played. You had that one written up and you were just
I actually
waiting for me
did.
to
That was
bring it
spur of the moment. I'm quite proud of myself.
Corner shot isn't going to go. That's going to be a quick foul. I'm kind of keeping an eye to see if there are any plays that are run on the offensive side by either of these teams, as Egypt's got a 4-point lead. All the way to the top. Where's the defense? I don't know who's the guy in blue,
Well,
but he
yeah, I
doesn't seem
think
to
you're
be
about
moving.
to see there with the little disconnect. Unfortunately, it looks like one of the players has had connectivity issues out of the party, out of the game, and any type of structured defense going to be very difficult from this point. That is quite unfortunate.
Now, how, if you're on the offensive side and you're going up against a team where you have a disconnect, how can you take advantage of the AI player?
That's a really good question. Offensively, that player is still going to hit. It does depend on the build, on the position. Oh my goodness, nothing is going to matter. Have a look at this movement. Have a look at the handles in position. The big man, get it up, and you yam it down all over you. Oh man, offensively, you're going to be fine, basically, India, in summary. Don't you worry about it. Defensively, depends on your build, depends on the matchup. A standard pick and roll might bait in the AI. If they're predominantly in the corner, you can just run near them. They'll start to collapse on you. You've got a wide open 3. It means the rest of your team's going to need to step up. If you're playing a zone, that's out the window. It really is very specific on different scenarios.
And we'll continue this conversation about AI, but we've got to go ahead and bring up Ayoub, who is the Morocco captain. That's going to be joining us now after they continue to just dominate all the other federations. What's been the key to success for Morocco, my man?
So hello, first of all. The key of success for us, I think it's a defense. We have a good team defense, so we put the all on defense because we know how to play. We have a lot of rotation in our head. Broxo speak a lot with the PF and me, so we know how to rotate. And then when we do good defense, we play fast break a lot, and that's how we won this game.
Well done. Congratulations, if it's okay for me to say so. It's what I expected. Put out there the prediction, doing the scouting, doing the research. But don't worry about me. What are your expectations for today in this region?
I think we want only victory. We don't want to lose, and we don't want to lose this tournament too. So yeah, only win and a maximum of skill booster to be on the top for this season. Leaderboard, sorry.
Is there a federation that you feel gives you the best chance to be taken down? The federation that you're most afraid of facing in the finals, perhaps?
Quelques jours en finale, ça? I think Algeria play good, so we know them because we played them in Europe comp game. So like Adax, I know him since 2K18, 17 maybe. So I know he is very tough. He is my friend, so I think we're gonna reach them in the final. I hope for them too. But yeah, I think Algeria is going crazy, and we will face off them.
Good. Look at that, India. I'm glad my predictions so far, so early into today, are on point. But friend, if I can ask you about Egypt specifically as a nation that have surprised me so far, do you think they might compete for a spot in the final?
I think they play good. Last year we faced them in the semi-final. I think we won them, but it was very difficult. Like we won maybe +1 or 2. So yeah, it was a tough game. This year I think they are tough too. They can do something this year. For real, Algeria or Egypt is the same level for me. So it will be the competition of these two teams. So we will see. But yeah, Egypt is tough too, but we scared about nobody. So Algeria or Egypt, I think it's gonna be the same. I hope.
And look, our brother Vince wants to know, where's the flag at, man?
Yeah, the flag is there. Look, I prepare everything.
There you go. I need you to have that flag every time.
You want to be? I want to know in the big game.
I need you to wave it. I need you to look. Look, you've ironed it up and you shuffled it. You folded it better than I take care of mine. Apparently,
because I like you. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Look,
there you go. That is the captain of the National Federation of Morocco. Thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on the success thus far.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck moving forward, my man.
Thank you a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. You take care. And that was Ayoub, Morocco captain. And man, we come back and shout out to Vince for that. We come back into this one, and Vince, Algeria found themselves a nice little comfortable lead as they go ahead and secure the rebound here. Get it to the right side. Shot from the right corner. Gets it into a double-digit territory.
India, I just don't want to be Vince, man. I'm so sorry. Like, you might want me to be, and you've tried it a few times, but it's still Nate.
Wait, what? No, hold on. I said shout out to Vince because he was the one in the chat who mentioned the flag.
Okay.
I
It sounded like you were teeing me up with something, and I'm like, you want to talk to Vince, you get typing. You want to talk to me, you get talking, you know?
No, I didn't. I did not call you Vince. I did not.
Twitch chat, to be honest, I don't know why I'm pointing it out. I'm the one that has to do push-ups apparently when there's an error anyway, but _! survey, get yourself a hoodie, a FIBA basketball game code for 2K24. You might as well get something out of this situation.
I'm gonna timestamp this and see if I did call you Vince, because I mentioned Vince because he was in the chat talking about the flag. But I've notated.
We all wish we could be
Vince,
but there's only one Vince Chang.
Here's Algeria. It was a back and forth ball game early in the first half, but they've come away with a nice little lead here, 36-19, as Egypt cannot keep up on the defensive side of things.
We were talking
As they
about
try to match
predictions
it.
and stuff, India, earlier, and I think that word sometimes comes across as, oh, a bit of psychic powers or a bit of, sort of crystal ball. I'm like, no. It's none of that. It's literally talking to players, watching game footage, looking at previous results and trying to be like, what do we think will happen? What's changed? I haven't gone as deep, I'll admit, in Africa as particular builds and how that might have changed from last season to this one, because you see this margin already into the third quarter, and I'm saying Algeria are going to come out and make a statement. They're going to win. They're going to perform in clutch moments. I did not expect a 17-point margin this early on, and then you got the king, the captain of Morocco, saying, yeah, Nate, maybe last year you were kind of correct. We had that clutch semi-final, 2-point win, by the way, over Egypt. But in 2K24, I've got my mate that plays for Algeria. They have stepped it up a notch. That's why we love hearing from the players themselves.
Yeah, it's always great to kind of get their perspective. As Khalid goes ahead and gets all the way to the left, clanks that shot. Egypt doing their best to pile on some points, but unfortunately it's Algeria that just keeps knocking down shots, and now the lead, which was just at the start of the third, was I think 9, has now extended to 20. And that's going to be a turnover. Algeria all the way to the left side, wide open shot, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, dots it to the right, foot on the line. That's going to be a 2, but it's going to be a green.
Very nicely done. The not punishment for your foot on the line, it is one less point. To be honest, I think from myself, and I'm sure India too, you actually get, if it's one less point, more respect to be able to time that when you're expecting it to be one thing and it's another, not to mention your rating being very different for your 3-point, your mid-range on occasion for these builds. One less point, India, but at least 1 point of respect from you and I, surely.
Amen to that. And of course, it's all about the skill boosters. Matter of fact, chat, we'll try to go ahead and get a pause next time a box score is shown to see how close either of these national federations are to getting that additional skill booster. As the shot from the left hash goes, he had badge, so that makes it a little bit easier.
Right on cue. I'm sorry to interrupt again, India. I'll say the same thing as last time. It's because of a disconnect, looking at that defense and wondering why there's a lack of movement. It's now the first sort of thought
I'm glad
in
you
my
brought
mind
it
that
up.
it's that obvious.
I'm glad you re-brought it up, because I believe the disconnect is for the person with the blue hair on Team Red, aka Egypt. And so you can see on the offensive sets, that blue hair doesn't really know where to go. Number 33 has no idea where to line up. So look, he'll come up and he'll just kind of stop top of the key. So if you needed him to drop, if you needed him to roll, it gets that much tougher to do so.
Yeah, you're done. Again, if offensively you can be a bit of a weapon and the 3 points been going again, depending on the build and whatnot, defensively you're sort of stuck, you're done. It's a bit, I won't say concerning, it's just one of those things where maybe there's some behind the scenes tech stuff you can do to make sure it doesn't happen again, or maybe if you're looking at the score line, not particularly happy sometimes. Some players, maybe occasionally, sort of said, we might be feeling like we'll just look ahead to the next matchup, the next meetup. But with this format, I will say India, you need
Did
to
they
win
just have
every single game. And yeah,
sorry,
4-1.
I was just, yeah, I was just taking a look at that. That's just crazy. As you're gonna get, by the way, we did have instant replay, and the officials did go ahead and review the tape at 1 hour and 10 minutes, and I did not call you Vince. It was a shout out to the chat because he brought up the flag. So in your face.
Respect. The push-ups are added to my post-show routine, and apologies, India, on point as always.
Well, right now you've got what is almost looking like team take. They're a couple of takes away as Nigeria. Did the man just go out and get his own rebound? Yes, he did, and then he dishes it to the left side for the additional 3, and it's 60-22. And we'll get you an update. We've got another matchup, another game that just went ahead and finished. It's Ivory
We'll just
Coast
jump in.
goes
Skill
ahead and
booster.
gets it
Sorry,
done.
India. I got to. You know me and the skill boosters, and I can't because
Go ahead,
I
it's all
did
you.
not think we're going to be talking about 30 points or less. Are you kidding me? In Algeria, Egypt, where I'm sort of saying that's the game for second, and if anything, Algeria should be on top, but only just. They're the more clutch team. Egypt now 22, and if that goes 25, it could be skill booster. Just keep your eyes on it, fam.
Well, it's can you help me with the pronunciation there? I should probably know how to say it, but it's Cote d'Ivoire. Am I pronouncing that correct?
I go Cote d'Ivoire, but again, any sort of locals in chat, it's just got that French heritage, if you like, India. Where
see, this is why I just say Ivory Coast.
Yeah, which of course is more than acceptable, the way a lot of people know it. Shout out, real quick, sorry, Chris. Greetings from Spain, brother. We were talking about Europe and indeed a little bit of Spain earlier on today. Thank you for rating the eFIBA stream.
What a deep shot from Algeria as they bury the three. But the reason I brought it up is because you brought up skill boosters, and Senegal, unfortunately, only had 12 points. So Ivory Coast is going to get a skill boost there as they held their opponent to 30 points or less. And we'll see if Egypt is able to get 2 more points here to play spoiler for Algeria in terms of skill boosters. They're at the top of the key. They've got 2 seconds. They got to get that shot up from the right side. It's not going to go, but they've still got about 3 seconds left. Oh, they're doing push-ups for you. Once again, deep shot. Can it get it to go?
Might as well do them digitally for your celebration. Algeria, again, if we could get that box score going on, because we want to keep track of the skill boosters as much as we can. The 35% assist to points ratio, not one that I'm capable of doing while I'm watching 5 streams, to be honest. If you ever see me sort of with my head darting from left to right, just trying to keep up with the different games and work out where we might be on the leaderboard and whatnot, or any big clutch situations. Under 30, still not likely, let's say, with 2 remaining, but possible.
Well, something to kind of update you guys. We talked about the 1 skill booster that Ivory Coast got. They actually will have 2 because the big fella down low, Warner, had 12 points, 10 assists, and 27 rebounds compared to Senegal's 13 as a team.
That's the way to do it. Unfortunately,
he doubled it up.
No sort of individual versus nation skill boosters, but you can put it in your little personal history book and say I performed better than a nation. Get around that, why not?
A national federation, would you look at that? Algeria still holding on to Egypt, less than 30 for now. But will that change here with this shot? Oh, he missed it. Got the offensive board, kicks it back out to the left side. Top of the key to the right. We're just swinging a rock, and we still can't find the bottom of the net. We've got about a minute 15 left to go with this one. We're going to call it like it's the World Cup.
3 open looks, India. Are you kidding me? Again, if you're wondering why we're hyped in a 75-28, it is the beauty of this competition and the skill boosters. Just to give us a standard 2, an easy lay, a dunk, wherever you need. Where is it going to come from? It could be the difference between these 2 regions, whether you're making it into that regional final or not. I'd really like a quick give and go, something early into the shot clock maybe.
With the AIs, you can see they're all just out of formation. Nice little cut, and that's going to get them to 30. And there you go, Coach Nate. You called for the give and go. They utilized the AIs, and they got the job done.
Look, it might not be the most sort of stimulating, most electrifying point ever, but the AI, they can pass that ball. You press X, they'll give it to you.
Indeed, they will. It's the only time I get the rock as Algeria. Great defense played there by Egypt. Oh, they want more than just 30, as that's going to be a foul. Going to take it to the side. No shot clock, 18.5. Here comes the inbound. Egypt looking to find some space. Has an AI on the left hash that isn't being guarded. I would just pass it to him and let him shoot if he's got that in his build. Zane to the right. 5 seconds to work with. No space whatsoever. Top of gets it finally to Khalid, who's going to take the shot. Can't get it to go. And that's going to do it. It is 78-30. Algeria comes out on top. We'll let you know if anyone there had any triple doubles, so they can get the skill boosters or not. But Nate, a dominating performance from the National Federation of Algeria.
again, when I say prediction, fam, I just want to be really clear. It's not Nate knows sort of exactly what's going to happen, nothing like that. I said Algeria want to make a statement, but I said in clutch situations, fam, they just made a statement from the get-go. A 15-8 second quarter, and then I believe a 30-3 third quarter. That game was done shortly after the half. Respect for stepping up. Again, disconnects, AIs. Look, you can only play against what you've come up against. And what they came up against was a team ready to fight until the end. You saw them continue to score. I can confirm 𝐅𝐻𝐋𝐋𝐿 with a triple-double, 19, 22, and 13. Those passes towards the end in that fourth quarter made the difference, got him over the line.
You beat me to it. I was going to talk about the triple-double. This is why I love having you as my partner. We think alike, and, you know, the shooting is what had such great impact, especially because of those offensive rebounds, kicking it back outside. Just about every single player on Algeria had double-digit points. A great performance by them. They had a total of 10 steals, which is just incredible on the defensive side as a federation. And so it's great to see those type of performances. Of course, we had a triple-double from Morocco early on as well. We've got a question in the chat. Which nation has surprised you the most this season? Nate, let's start with Africa. And then if we've got time, we can expand to other regions.
Man, I got to be honest, like for Africa, I need to wait until the end of today because I said you're going to see those standings change around. And if I'm a man of my word, I will wait until we see them to see if it switches around because even then I'm going to be surprised if it doesn't happen. And I got to see who it's going to be. If you need the recap for mine, Morocco are a lock at number 1. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. You got to keep watching, find out what happens. Skill boosters, you heard the Moroccan captain talking about it himself. But positions 2 down to 8, I believe we're going to see a lot of changing around, and that 4th spot really could be any nation's. I'm waiting to be surprised. It's kind of a cop-out answer. Apologies in the chat right now, but I do need to wait and see on that one.
Well, then let's go ahead and zoom out from Africa. Which national federation has surprised you in all of the 61 national federations that are playing?
Yeah, definitely. We're talking about Europe earlier. It's our biggest region. And again, with that story not yet done, I'm hoping there's a bit more of a surprise talking specifically about Greece, but Croatia as well. Vince was sort of making a similar point. Yes, to the chat. India, I'm talking to the chat right now, making sure we know who we're talking to. I got it wrong. You can tell I'm feeling a little self-conscious, right? That wasn't obvious at all. Greece, deservedly outside that top 5. But in my opinion, they're a top 5 team that are showing that they are learning from big moments. Croatia, I said, have had such small margins of defeat. They have pleasantly surprised me. I think they got a little bit more of a surprise left in store.
Well, it's not just you. Don't worry about it. Our folks, our friends over in Denmark thought I went ahead and called you Vince as well. But again, all that's cleared up. So we're all good. Don't you worry about a thing.
I love the banter.
You know, for me, for Africa, I would say Ghana is a little bit of a surprising team. Now, look, I understand that they just got blown out. I understand that coming into today, they were in the 5th seed. They're on the outside looking in. But I don't think folks at home understand how tough it is to play in this tournament with such great players and such great national federations that have been doing it for a few seasons now, and to compete with them as well. So to play in this one for the first time and come into today as the 5th seed, just 1 spot outside of making it to the African regional finals, I think is a big deal. So that's a team that I'm excited to see play. And I think on the, taking a look outside of it, I love the gameplay that we're seeing from Argentina. I mean, they've come close to upsetting Brazil a couple of times now. It's just those second halves where they just haven't been able to close out. Now they go ahead and play them again in a best of 3, so they've got to beat them as many times as they've been beaten in the regular season as well. We talked about Argentina being my dark knight, my dark horse, starting things off, and so far they've held up to it as well. So that's the team where it's, I don't want to say the most surprising necessarily because I expected them to do well, but definitely the most intriguing to watch to compete in South America against Brazil. And of course, you've got Lebanon and Saudi Arabia. That should be a fun matchup. I think you have Lebanon that's in first place right now because of the skill boosters. Saudi Arabia had to be dropped. So we'll see how that one goes. And then, of course, the Philippines. I did not expect them to score 221 points. I expected them to be great. I expected them to dominate like they have. They've got a great squad there. They've got an APAC tournament that's going on right now. They've got a lot of their players competing in that. So this is what they do at a high level. but scoring 221 points is just bonkers to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we'll see that record broken, and I think the only team that can do it is them if they go against a similar foe.
I like the way that you're going about that question. And again, Twitch chat, you let us know firstly, !_ survey. You can win some prizes by answering questions about what you'd like to see in this broadcast. But India, credit to you. The surprises have been more about nations that were like, yeah, you're good, being great. Nations that I'd call being tier 2, stepping up into a tier 1 type performance. Because I tell you what, you start mentioning friends from around my parts and saying, oh, I'm a bit surprised. I get a little bit like, India, are you kidding me? I get started to get fired up, but you're saying, no, come on, calm down. We know Clark is good, but Clark has been great leading that team in ways that we didn't expect. Argentina, of course, they're a top 2 team, but to be that close to Brazil, to be closer and closer, to be causing an upset and have a chance to do that maybe in a regional final, the surprises have been in the individual matchups and in the incremental improvements throughout the tournament, and it's why you're going to want to tune in to all those regional finals starting next week. We're going to get some upsets guaranteed.
And you know, something that I don't believe I got a chance to do early is there's a lot of action going down today, so make sure you check out FIBA.basketball. You can check out the schedule, the fixtures, the results, and all of that good stuff. But we do have an interview with us. We have Ahmed from Algeria, who just put on a dominating performance against Egypt. Ahmed, welcome to the show. Congratulations on the dub. And I'll ask you the same question. What's been the main ingredient behind the success that Algeria has had thus far?
Actually, so hello everybody. Actually, like the main what?
So what's the main reason that you guys have been as successful as you have been?
Probably the good relationship in the squad. You know, I don't see you actually.
That's good. You need that team harmony. We can see it on the court. Wonderful to have you, by the way. Thank you for talking with us. That was a big game on paper. In that actual game played on the court, 30-3 in the third quarter. What was the secret to you being so dominating?
I don't know. Probably like maybe just training all time, all day, and actually, yeah, we did have a good relationship in the squad, you know, and that's why we can play like that. Actually,
you mentioned the good relationships. How important is comms, right? When you're talking about, hey, run this play or this defensive things, how much communication truly goes into y'all's preparation to game day?
You said about the communication?
Yeah. How are y'all able to easily communicate on the defensive side? Like, do y'all practice a lot, scrimmages? How are you able to build up that great chemistry?
Yeah, just practice. You know, like I said, just practice all the time, and that's why. And after that, like, have good rotation. You know, we played all day together, so that's just like every day we played. So the rotation is too easy for us, and we played against very good team in France, so that's why we have good defensive play.
Definitely have those defensive rotations on point. If you've overcome Egypt and there is one nation standing in your way, Morocco. Do you think you can beat them? Do you think you can be first in the region? You
know, like, we are Algeria and Morocco. We know a lot of guys in the squad, so that's our friend too. But you know, we're gonna play like we play together all the time, and we're gonna see if we win or not. But you know, it's okay. We can win, we can lose, but that will be a great game. That will be a very great game. So let's focus, and we will see a great game in probably the final, if we can go to the final.
Yeah, bring it on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. That is Ahmed Larbi from Algeria. Best of luck, and look forward to seeing some more gameplay from y'all.
Thank you.
And that is going to do it for that part of the interview. But we've got a lot more action coming up a little bit ahead of us. But, you know, I've always been told that I'm bad at trivia. So I kind of want to know how good you are at trivia. So while we have some time to kill, let's go ahead and quiz you a little bit about Sweden. Yeah, I'm going to give you 3 companies, and I want you to let me know which of these companies is not from Sweden. You ready?
Twitch chat or me?
Oh, wait, no. This is for Nate the Great, but of course, Twitch chat, you can go ahead and let us know what you believe as well. But no cheating. Hey, eyes on me. Do not look at the Twitch chat. Here we go. Eyes on me. 3 companies. One of them is not from Sweden. Which one is it? Company number 1, Volvo. Company number 2, Spotify. Company number 3, Lego. Which of those 3 companies is not from Sweden?
I'm going to go Volvo, India. Twitch chat, don't know if you got my back or not. Volvo.
Is there reasoning you're going with Volvo?
Lego seems like an awesome thing that the awesome Swedish people would come up with. Number 2, Spotify. And I feel like I remember reading like 10 years ago about the creator. So yeah, some type of hunch.
I'll tell you what, you're wrong. We'll take Volvo out. Now you're down to 2. It's Spotify and Lego. Between those
my
two
pain
companies,
and suffering, please.
And you gotta get a gameplay to start. We're waiting on gameplay. Between those 2 companies, which one was not in Sweden?
Man, I'll just say Spotify then and apologize if I'm wrong twice out of 2.
It is actually Lego. That is not from Sweden. It's from Danish. But it's okay, because I'm sure Nico's going to send you something for me as well. So,
all right. Well, speaking of Lego, that looks like it's my time done in the eFIBA Season 2. It's time for me to let go. Fun.
That's how we should have ended the show, right there.
Man, are you serious? I spend, what is it? It's 4:20 in the morning. I'm prepped for days for this, and I get thrown 3 trivia questions asked about Lego. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
What if I told you these questions were in the run of show that you just didn't read?
Yeah, then that would be
I'm kidding.
You said eyes on me, mate. Maybe I was looking at the runner show, and then I'm like, where are we up to on there? Give me the number, brother.
Oh man, that was too good. That was fun. Oh, look at that. There goes my camera. That's how much fun we've been having. I'll tell you what, that's my punishment. So I'm going to go reset my camera. You go ahead and carry on the broadcast. I'll be right back.
Friends, don't worry about Lego, Volvo, and Spotify. We're here for NBA 2K. My name is Nate. It's a pleasure to have you with us, friends. It's been lovely to be able to commentate alongside India, working on the NBA 2K League. Sort of alongside him, sort of being that outside analyst role. A big shout out to eFIBA Season 2 for giving us something different to do with y'all. It is a community run tournament. It's why I'm more than happy to make an absolute fool of myself regarding Lego and the rest of it. But exclamation mark survey right here, right now. You can give your feedback on the broadcast so far, the tournament, the skill boosters, and the rest of it. And you can win yourself an eFIBA hoodie, FIBA basketballs, and NBA 2K24 game codes. Exclamation mark survey in the chat right now. Ballin' Back says, I need to learn English. Friend, what were you? 19 and 6, 7 for 11 shooting in the game prior. Don't worry about learning English. Your 2K was on point. There's the lock there. And we'll get India back, I'm sure, brother.
I'm Batman.
Right.
I'm back.
Or just India?
I'm back. We are good to go. Appreciate you holding it down. You've got Ghana taking on Ivory Coast. I'll get the pronunciation down. I'm sure that's going to be part of my feedback for next time. I promise I'll get the pronunciation down.
No, I reckon most people go Ivory Coast. Again, just speaking un petit peu en français. I like Cote d'Ivoire, but each to their own, man. No wrongs there. You're all good.
Cote d'Ivoire. Sounds like a famous painting or something.
Yeah,
a Degas, right? Like a
Degas. The Louvre to see the Cote d'Ivoire.
Here's Morant. We saw him play early on for Ghana. So we'll go ahead and see these two national federations compete. Great contest, just flung all the way out there on the defensive side. And here's a fast break. Fade away from the left side is not going to go. We're still at 0-0. About a minute and a half has passed.
It's not so much like an over-under, but if you want a little prediction, the favorite, beautiful people, Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, however you want to say it, enter as favorites. One of those nations looking at a top 4 spot, not just like hoping for it, fam. They're like, we're getting it. It has to happen, and anything less than that will be an underachievement. I feel like defensively, it'd be one of those teams that you could be like under 30. It could be on. Not if you're just jumping at sort of random things.
Oh
if you're jumping for the ball, then heck yes, maybe you can be spamming triangle. Why not? And there you go. Defensively, it could well step up.
Great defensive play there to get the block as Morant takes the long 2, and it's Ghana that's finally on the board.
We got
Ghana,
to see Morant
unfortunately,
earlier.
dropped their game earlier.
Yeah, talking about the layout package and very Morant play style. We could go the full name, we could give you the real name, but fam, Morant is Morant here in 2K as well. Wanted to mention that there is a AI player from the start here, just due to an issue, which means defensively, again, unfortunately for Ghana, might be a little bit difficult, but stepping in
Oh my
take
goodness!
a deep 2.
Sorry to
Go
interrupt
in
you there,
now.
man. Just another great block from the right corner this time. The disconnects, unfortunately, don't help your game plan on the right, on the offensive or defensive side. As Morant always has the dribble moves, but not the shot timing. We'll see if this game is any different. By the way, Nick, if producer Nico gets you any quizzes, just copy and paste the answers my way. Come on, help me out. Help me out.
I'm,
Don't do
happy
me like
to play the role of like stooge, whatever it is, where I just get them wrong and we drag out the quiz as long as possible. I actually, yeah, had no idea. There's no cheating, as you can tell. I'm enjoying learning more about these nations. I'm genuinely excited to see Sweden in its entirety. I want to try and do a little bit of sightseeing if I get the opportunity after we're done at DreamHack.
I feel like the next one's going to be spell Yunship.
That's the only one I got down because it, yeah, is not at all how it sounds. It's the pronunciation I've been struggling with.
I can spell Sweden. No problem with that one. Look at that. Ghana's got the lead. Will it be for the short term or the long term or the final buzzer? We will find out together.
By together, I know India means the
Oh,
Twitch chat.
come
Everyone
on.
watching as well. Defensive side of things. On top, we have some green beams to try and make it a little nicer. Morant handles from the top. Yes, please. Don't worry about the layup. Don't worry about the paint presence. Morant from 3.
And what do you know? Ghana's got the lead now. Extending it, rather. Nice dribble move. Taking which way are you going to go? Had a couple of defenders open. Gets the one to jump in the air, but the hash shot doesn't go. As Ghana. Ivory Coast, a team in white, gets the grab, but not the shot. Fast break one more time, but defender's right there, no problem, as he slams that one home. And that's going to be a quick timeout, as we're about 40 seconds till the end of the first quarter.
And there's going to be an emphasis on every offensive possession now with the defensive side of things. Well, the focus as it should be, as mentioned by India. Senegal held to 12 in the second quarter. They did not score a point. Cote d'Ivoire double-digit scoring in every quarter. The triple-double for the big man. I tell you what, the centers are feasting in eFIBA Season 2 and getting their nation the skill booster to boot.
Well, don't forget, only 4 national federations from the Africa region will move on to the regional finals. So sub-federations we will say goodbye to. And they're just dribbling. Just look at that. You've got 2, and see, that's the AI, I assume, because you've got 2 teammates on the right hash, and that just clogs things up and makes it that much more difficult for your point guard.
Yeah, I haven't made it into a finalized video yet because it's a little bit of complaining, and I try not to be that guy. But a little bit playing rec and a little bit playing pro-am, unfortunately, with AI is just staying on me. Step for step, everywhere I try to go. Dex, now I'm coming along with you, and you're like, AI. I end up talking to the AI like it's a teammate. Like, get out of my hash, get out of my spot.
You just got to adjust at that point. I remember during the combine days, if the AI was defending the hash, we would just continue passing the rock to our teammate on the hash, set a pick on the AI, so it could just end up being wide open shots after wide open shots.
Some people
good
just
old
shoot
combine
straight over
days,
the top.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things change, some things stay the same. India, AI helps sometimes, but a massive hindrance overall.
I'm excited to see Oceania play that region.
Yeah, New Zealand's finally get their opportunity. We saw some questions in the Twitch chat being like, oh, Nate, we want you to commentate your games. And I'm like, at the moment, and this was back then, Vince has teed up for you all, and that's the way you want it, because there's going to be a lot of slammer jammers. Guam got it all to do, everything to do. If New Zealand don't make it through, they will be just heartbroken. There's sort of no excuses for that nation to make it through this week.
You've got the combine legend himself, Dirk, checking in. Man, I remember watching Dirk, because that's when I first started paying attention to the league, was around the combine. And this man would have his Mountain Dews, like a pack of 12, and just grind the combine. It was insane. He would do like these weird dances anytime he won. I need to find those clips.
We heard it from Algeria, to be honest. I think most of our nations in the co-stream as well, with the insights to their teams. Talking about practice, scrimmaging, you got friends on the other nations. It does not stop the fact that when you get out there on the court, you're looking for that result. And as much as you might share with your friends from other nations, there's a lot of things that stay in-house that you keep until these big games and clutch moments. Thinking about Mario from Spain, who's already run, I think, 4 unique inbound plays alone. I think that tally's correct. I don't have my Europe notes on me tonight, but it is to say that there's prep time together you can spend, communication and the rest of it to make sure it gets you over the line. Cote d'Ivoire here, not struggling against the AI, but I believe Morant is looking good maybe for a disconnect. It might open things up even more.
Oh, that would just be insane. Uh-oh. You can't have your point guard go out. Not like this. Oh, that would just be terrible.
Oh, nice. He's moving. He's rocking and rolling.
He's good now. He's good now.
Is it just like, I'm going to play offense only type vibes?
Oh, and I believe he's going to leave here.
Morant, watch, baby.
He's out. There's the violation. Get him out of here.
The player cam, you know, where you just focus on one player. It's not the way that maybe I expected it, but hey, run that break if no one's running back for you.
I made that. Oh, nice little alley-oop attempt for Ivory Coast. 16-9. I've got to take a look at the box score and see just exactly how many AIs are in the game right now.
Weird point of note. Again, you can do all the prep you want. Hey, we can't prep for that, India. I did say run the break, and in transition, Cote d'Ivoire can start to run up that score very, very quickly. Leaving the AI open for 3, no. There's a chance they'll start hitting them, again, depending on the build and whatnot. But the simple things, if you're a guard on that break, you're going to have spot up 3s. You're going to have some fun with it. I encourage Cote d'Ivoire to enjoy this situation.
Yeah, they've got, this is where you kind of have to run it up. This is where alley-oop attempt on his head! Ivory Coast, back-to-back alley-oops.
Have some fun with it, indeed. It's good to see the nations taking it in the right spirit. It won't be the last one, India, at all. Skill boosters available. Highlight plays aren't a part of that. It's going to get you on the highlight reel on social media. 3 in the corner. Maybe we can have a nice combination then. Some highlight plays and also checking out those skill boosters. We're running up that total, passing the rock around to make sure your assist to points ratio is 35% or more.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, if you don't capitalize on this opportunity and get all 3 skill boosters at the very least, because the 4th one's going to be impossible for the African region to get. I don't even know what to tell you, as it's wide open from the right side. The defender just has his back turned to him as they continue to knock down the 3s. The lead is now 26-12.
We talked about TakeOver being pivotal in close games. I was in the Twitch chat actually during Europe having a bit of an argument against Dirk, and it's not like me to be confrontational, particularly against the GOAT play-by-play caller, but disagreeing with takeover in terms of waiting for Mamba mentality. I know the huge boost that you get with it. When clutch situations in a 1 or 2 possession game, feel like you just want to be activating it as regularly as possible, if that makes sense. Oh, if you get the chance before you're done and dusted, that is why, Dirk, you activate take, because you might have your game ended a bit earlier than you expected. I said to Cote d'Ivoire, look, maybe you can have some fun with it. That they did. How good is it to see the alley-oop? Friends, you got the green time. All you got to do is press square, basically, when you're in that green sort of zone, and depending on your attributes and whatnot. But with these builds that Cote d'Ivoire have, indeed, their center and power forward, you'd expect it to go every time. And therefore, that's the way I'd be having fun with it. You saw, wait a minute, skill boosters. We could get a trip dub, get some other things happening. Therefore, kicking out for the 3, it's less showy. It is a really good opportunity to develop your timing. Now, this might seem like a little bit of filler, but it is on my points that I wanted to make. We had the middies being practiced in what was a clutch game. It might seem a little strange to you to be like, why are you just running in and taking the easy 2? Go lay it in, dunk it in. It is because you can practice that timing in these games that maybe you feel like if they're not a blowout, they're going to be a comfortable win, and you get to the regional finals, maybe even Sweden. And the more you know your jump shot from every spot on that court, the better it's going to be for you. The mid-range in 2K24, absolutely crucial. Shout out to some of the guards here down under, and to be honest, 1 or 2 in the Philippines that have sort of proven me wrong on that. When I've been making my builds or talking to other people about them, I've been very, very heavy on thinking 2K23, making sure you can room run, making sure you can shoot the 3. Fam, you need to be taking those middies, those deep 2s. What about CB13 from the US of A? Maybe one of the best in the world at finding that spot and hitting it so consistently. I could go on about hot zones, lethal zones, and the rest of it. But if you bear with me, I'll get that rant out of the system another time, because we want to make sure the focus is on the games, as it should be. My name's Nate. We're going to have India back with us in just a moment's time. I'm giving him some timeout, if you will, because, man, that trivia. I don't know if you're watching along. We're like, Nate, this is tragic. You're all right. If so, we look forward to those finals in Sweden in the end of November. We're here with Africa today, one of our regions where we're going to have a regional winner making it through to those finals. Basically the top dog, and if you're Europe, a lucky loser. Hey, I consider myself a lucky loser when I get to cast alongside India. Brother, you back with us?
I mean, why I gotta be calm? Why am I a loser? Hold on.
I said I consider myself the lucky loser.
Well, we got the disconnect.
You're just the winner.
We got the disconnect in Africa, which apparently kicked my internet out here in America. I'm not quite sure what type of voodoo that was, but that was insane. And I believe it's going to be Cote d'Ivoire. Did I get that right? Did I get that right? A little bit?
You smashed it, mate. No, actually, that's beautiful.
They go ahead, and I assume they're going to go ahead and get the victory as well. But so far, though, I'm not quite sure what exactly you've been spewing to the folks at home. So I apologize, Nate, if you're repeating anything. But what have you thought about the action thus far?
Yeah, I think I wanted to, what did I do? Take the opportunity about skill boosters versus showing off, in that now this sort of opportunity has come and done for Cote d'Ivoire. So did we get the most out of it? How does that look in terms of the rules and whatnot? That's not up to us. eFIBA have been magnificent all season long. And to be honest, in the preparation for the rules for this tournament, it's about the timing of shots for mine. Do you use that as the opportunity to practice your shot timing, or are you just showing off? Because then you're going to get to some clutch games, finals, let alone in Sweden. I think that was the gist of it. India, use it as a learning opportunity if you've got that professionalism in you.
And we talked early on about how the top 4 national federations will move on to the next round, and they'll have to go ahead and compete in the semis for a chance to go ahead and make it to Jönköping, Sweden at the end of November for the World Finals. I mean, man, it is going to be so exciting. But they've got some tough regions to go ahead and face if they do make it to Sweden. Let's go ahead and start with South America's leaderboards. We've been talking about a couple of these national federations all night long. Here's where they stand. The 1 and 2, it's Brazil, it's Argentina. Those spots are locked in. Thank you for the centering. Where Venezuela and Uruguay, we've had to say goodbye to. What do you think, though, man? Do we see an upset, or do you think Brazil's got this one? Keep in mind, it is a best of 3.
Yeah, I never used to speak like this because you sort of want people to tune in. It's our job is always to hyper up and be like, oh yeah, anyone could win. It's going to be a 1-point thriller throughout. Fam, Brazil go in as favorites. It's pretty clear cut. We've heard from the players. What about that question? How good was it? You've seen it on social media. Go check out eFIBA if you haven't on socials right now. If you could pick, a player to play for Brazil from another nation, what would it be? And straight off the rip, well, it wouldn't be anyone from Argentina. I tell you that much. That's how much it means to them. Brazil go in as favorites. They should get it done again. It would just be great, for the Nate haters, but more for the fans of 2K and who you're neutrals of this tournament. If Argentina can upset not just the previous results in eFIBA Season 2, not just the historical standings in this matchup, which are so heavily weighted to Brazil, particularly in big tournaments, it would be huge, in the moment, on a historic level, and then getting to Sweden would almost just be a bonus.
Well, speaking of history being made, let's go ahead and take a look at North America, as the United States has not dropped a single game. Matter of fact, their point differential, I believe, is like 50, 60 plus. And in terms of points on the leaderboard, you can see that they've got a wide margin. So to break it down, Nate, for the folks at home, 3 national federations will move on to the next round. They already have this is locked and loaded. United States is already got a spot in the finals. Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico will play against each other in a best of 1. And the winner of that will play the United States in a best of 3 for a chance to see who goes to Jönköping, Sweden at the end of November. But let's kind of bring it back. Between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, who you got in a best of 1?
Okay, if I'm making the big predictions, then I'll so happily get called out for when I sit on the fence, and this is one of those occasions. There's NBA 2K League talent throughout both squads. I've talked about progression during the tournament. Dominican Republic, for mine, is a nation more in form. That's the only thing I've got to go off. Then on the flip side, you could be like, well, Puerto Rico started pretty well, so maybe if they just recover that form, they'll be the ones to make it through. It is a bit like a Brazil-Argentina in that just to make it through, as I said, to Sweden for Argentina would be the get-go. Just to be able to play the US of A with then the chance to go to Sweden, if that makes sense, is the big story here. They say that sort of silver is not as sweet as bronze sometimes because you got so close yet so far. Not true in this region, in North America. If you could just make it through to get that shot where then anything might happen against the US of A, you've done yourself every chance. Whichever one of DR or PR don't make it through to that regional final, it will be a heartbreaker, India.
Yeah, I mean, look, silver is about, $23 right now in the markets, where you've got copper that's $3.50. So I will always take silver, hands down, no question, whether it's in terms of the real medal or whether it's in terms of placing, regardless of it, especially because you get a chance to get a little bit more of the 50,000 euros price pool, right? I mean, that's what we're out here playing for. Did you give me your prediction, by the way, in terms of who's going to win between United States and the team that you have?
Oh, if it goes to, USA and who it is that goes through, then you'd just be very foolish to tip against USA anyway. And in terms of DRPR, no, I did very much stay on the fence saying DR more informed, but then PR started well. So what do you go off? Being informed or the standard that Puerto Rico can play to, and I just flip and flop. We'll wait until North Americas get underway, and I'll give you a definitive before that game day.
Well, it'll definitely be interesting, but I want to kind of talk about the lucky loser here in a moment as well. You remember the 14? I know it's Poland, I know it's Sweden, and I believe it's Ukraine. I'm trying to remember who the 4th team is, but I feel like I'm going to have it here in a second. Matter of fact, I might share my screen here in a moment. And here you go. So it's Poland taking on Siberia. Let me see if I can. Let's do some Here. Give me
You're
a
gonna do some
second here.
little,
We'll do this.
spreadsheet.
Look at that.
Let me
Boom.
get some
Right there.
equations going on.
Right there. Look at that. Voila. So here is the lucky loser. Now, this is on the European side of things. You've got Poland taking on Serbia, right? They're going to go ahead and play. And then you've got Ukraine taking on Sweden. What are you expecting out of these two matchups where, of course, the winner will then go ahead and play for the final 6th spot in the European region for a chance to make it to Sweden? But what are your thoughts on these two matchups?
Well, firstly, can I say how good the lucky loser bracket is? That in a region that's just huge, and you feel like if you don't perform well early, that we got unlucky and we don't make it through. No. You do get that second opportunity through the lucky loser bracket. Surely, come on, are you kidding me? Sweden, after the way that they started season 2, and to be honest, it was a flop. And if you can flop on the court, you can flop with your results as well. And here I am being like, I really want to see Sweden in Sweden, the stage. Imagine that support, how good that would be. They're going to lift their game. And then the way that they started, I sort of was like, this is my debut to eFIBA season 2. I've made this call out and I look like quite the fool. So if they could get over Ukraine there, I think you'd just be all systems go for those regional finals and Sweden and beyond and whatnot. I gotta say, Serbia overall should be favorites based on what we've seen so far. Here I am thinking Africa, trying to lock back in, not to Europe, but of course the lucky loser in Europe. So Serbia overall, but Sweden have got to be those sentimental favorites.
And of course, it would be great to have the National Federation of Sweden have a chance to play in Sweden. I mean, you want to talk about hometown cooking, hometown favorites, home court advantage. But of course, they don't just have to win the lucky loser. Then they have to go ahead and beat everybody else that's qualified, the top 5, including your, Spain if they go ahead and make it through, including your Great Britain if they make it through, your France, all those regions for a chance to end up in Jönköping. They might just already be there, but they might be on the bench, hanging on the sidelines as fans. But obviously, they want to go ahead and compete as well. You do also have so far.
India, you've just given me a buzzword. Something's just queued within me. Compete. What do you compete in? Trivia. Hey, India, I've got some questions for you and eFIBA season.
Sorry, Nate, I can't hear you. What was that?
Community chat. Yeah, if your camera goes down, honestly, I'm going to have some significant words. My friend, firstly, let me confirm for you that Lego is not from Sweden. But secondly, can you please let me know which one of these famous persons are not from Sweden? All right, and famous persons, different categories and whatnot. Are you ready? Which one is not from Sweden? Twitch chat, are you ready too? Alfred Nobel, Adele, Avicii. One more time. Is it Alfred Nobel, Adele, or Avicii? Which one of these famous persons is not from Sweden? India?
How do you spell Avicii?
No, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Eyes on me. Eyes on me with these ones before.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's the last one, Avicii, that is not from Sweden.
Hey, so do you know Avicii, by the way? Or
I have no... Oh, so, okay, you know what? Now that you say it...
I said, what
the artist?
We'll
it's the artist, right? Yes. I don't believe he's from Sweden.
So give a trivia answer that you'll remember, because he is indeed Swedish. I'm not going to prolong this agony for you anymore. Adele's British.
Wait, no, hold on.
Adele's British. Like, it's just, I honestly was like, everyone knows that. Why have you done this to me? You've absolutely stitched me up. But
it's fine.
Hey,
I knew it wasn't Alfred, because Alfred Bernard Nobel was born on October 21st. So happy belated birthday. Obviously, the guy's passed away, born in 1833 from Stockholm, Sweden. He died actually on December 10, 1896 in Italy.
You just know that off the top of your head, right?
Eyes on me, bruh. Eyes on me.
Yeah, we're playing different games sometimes. I feel like if this is a bit of a mismatch in Africa occasionally, where someone gets off to a quick start and they just keep on piling on the pain. But
I remember reading about him,
you know, Avicii after this and enjoy it very much.
A great chemist, engineer, inventor, businessman, and philanthropist as well. Very well known for being dynamic. I can keep reading what Wikipedia has on him, but nonetheless, though, we'll keep moving on. See, this is the type of chaos we have when we're waiting for gameplay. Let me see if we have any notes on gameplay, which will get started in just a couple of moments because of tech issues. Now, what I'm going to wait, and what Nate's going to wait as well, on the word is if it's a reset, which I don't think we've seen from the time that you and I have been broadcasting.
Yeah, reading over the rule set and going through, and again, I just want to shout out FIBA because this has been one of the most incredibly complex competitions to run with nations from all around the world. What are we saying, 61? I've forgotten now, which isn't good timing, but it's all the different regions and whatnot, all the different nations, the connection and whatnot. The first thing I said when I was approached here and I opened up the rule book is that this is the most professionally run competition from a rule set standard that I have ever seen. And then you introduce the skill boosters, like an element I've not seen in an esports competition before. I was going to say locally, but abroad as well. I'm racking my brain, and I just don't think I've seen anything quite like it. It is thorough, and it's been really good to see the players get around that and respect that. We can see some of their sort of text chats and whatnot, making sure that they're getting rewarded for what they do well. And similarly, when there's things outside of their control, that everything's a-okay. I think the one thing India might have been on those skill boosters early on, and then straight away when they saw the leaderboards, they're like, oh, no, these things really matter. We got to start going for them. So whatever decision it is, I'm confident, A, it's going to be the right one because you've got the global body of basketball behind it, run everything immaculately. And secondly, the player feedback so far has been great. And if the players are happy, the community's happy, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, we're about to get gameplay started here between Ghana and Ivory Coast. We'll get that here going momentarily as well. But, I mean, it's just incredible. We talked about the lucky losers. We talked about the European side of things. You know, we still have the Oceania region left to play. We still have the Middle East game day number 2 coming up. We also still have the Southeast Asia region coming up as well. You saw Philippines go ahead and dominate that side of things. So it'll be fun to kind of see if there are any changes, any shifts, any strategies, any movement in either of those regions, especially when it comes to the Middle East. We've talked about it before, but focusing on Saudi Arabia and also Lebanon. Do you expect Lebanon to kind of, they're ahead right now because of the skill boosters, but do you expect Lebanon to beat Saudi Arabia when we do go ahead and watch that region play, or do you feel like it's just Saudi Arabia's game?
Yeah, start shaking my head very early on there. My question to eFIBA team is my video on Saudi Arabia going to get released? I got so excited by their performances that I went ahead and just like started rambling like I am right now, and then got to speak to Coach Rayhan, who is just really articulate but also very passionate about the game. And I just want to call it like it is. Like, football's the biggest sport over there. And he said our basketball community is so strong, and therefore the equivalent esports, he's saying in 2K24 in August, we started training camps in August. So 2K24 isn't out, friends, as I'm sure you know, until September. But they were measuring metrics. They were looking at different sort of things that make up an esports professional. The facilities that they're using are fantastic. So thank you very much to Coach over there, Saudi Arabia. He said himself, belong on top, not just in this region. So I expect to see them in Sweden, and I expect them to cause at least one surprise while they're over there.
It'll be great to watch them play, especially when you talked about, you know, there's so many things where folks are in the community, right, that say, hey, good players are great at a couple of 2Ks, but the best ones are great consistently no matter what the meta is, no matter what 2K is out there. We've seen that from the North American players. We've seen that from a couple of international players as well. Aaron, Breaker comes to mind as well as individuals who are consistently great outside of North America on the game, no matter which version of it is you're playing, no matter what patch is playing. And it's great because you see Turkey dominating with the #1 spot right now. And if they continue that success, we will get a chance to watch them in Sweden, in Jönköping at the end of November to take down what everybody feels is the biggest juggernaut in the tournament, which is Team USA.
Yeah, India, I could give an analytical response, use some of my notes, some of my prep research, or I could say, if Aaron is okay at 2K, then I am nothing. If Aaron is the GOAT at 2K, then I do not praise him enough. If Aaron is going to be the match winner, he'll do it every time. The fandom for Turkey is just second to none.
I mean, he was in our Twitter spaces. He was a very humble guy, but he definitely has some strong opinions, which I respect, as he should have, because they are the underdogs coming into the tournament as a whole, but obviously dominating when it comes to the European side of things. We're just about a minute or two away from gameplay, so let me just quickly recap. Nope, no need to recap. We'll just go to gameplay now. Here we go. You've got Ghana taking on Ivory Coast. What I was going to say is you had Morocco beat Ghana 77-31 early on. And we will go ahead and reset the game from the start. You've got Morocco that beat Ghana 77-31. You had Cote d'Ivoire 68-12 over Senegal. And now this is the second matchup that we're watching between these two national federations. And here comes the tip-off. I believe it should be Cote d'Ivoire in white and Ghana in, what is that, blue? Like dark bluish? I think that's dark blue.
We'll go with the navy. Why not? And again, Cote d'Ivoire pronunciation just absolutely on point. You're crushing it.
Thank you.
Guy just keeps hitting new levels. Hopefully for Ghana, it could be the same, because Cote d'Ivoire just dominant. And then the air from the start makes things interesting. It's, oh my goodness me. Look at the defense, by the way, the hustle. Okay, we got a game, friends. We got ourselves a game. Look at the defense from both teams off the rip. If you see me get way too excited about defense in the first minute, the start of this game, before we got to this restart, again, just confirming for you all, going again. Thank you very much, FIBA team, the players for getting around, doing the right thing. You're going to see hustle and intensity. And if Ghana can get their paint game going early, it's going to be much more competitive than the last, to say the least. But we're going to see that competition for a top four spot rather, really heats up. I want to see India, if Cote d'Ivoire are locked in from the get-go defensively, if there's any bit of a mental lapse. And that block from a great time shot told me a lot.
I think what it's going to come down to is the fact if Ghana can get Morant going, if they have some additional disconnects, if they get graded out, if they get fouled out, playing with that AI is not a lot of fun. So that's what I'll be keeping an eye on here in this matchup. But so far, I agree with you. I think Cote d'Ivoire definitely has the arsenal in their tool belt to be the favorites coming into this one, and they've shown that all tournament long. As they get it past half court. Lot of traffic there inside the paint, and Ghana is able to take advantage with a steal and a turnover. Top of the key, Morant with the three.
You called it. Can they get it going, friendo? And if they can, what are we going to see in terms of a contest? What are we going to see in the top four spots with friends? If you're watching me waffling on, apologies. There's way too much, Nate, for any broadcast. You're back with the gameplay, what we are here to see. Now, it's all about a top four spot. At the end of the day, it's only those four that will progress. And sure, Morocco might be the favorites. In fact, we might even have second, even third, looking pretty locked on. What about fourth? What about a shot to head to the finals? And then maybe a regional final. India said Morant needs to get going. Keep looking for that three ball. And if it's not going, please start passing it to your big man for the pop.
You saw the left corner, for some reason, just continued to flare up. I guess he was just ready to stop the fast break. I'm not exactly sure. We'll keep an eye on that to see if that's some type of strategy that they're going with. As Ghana, just like earlier when we saw these two teams play, has the lead at the moment, but can they hold on to it? They will help with defensive plays like that. Right corner. Oh, they had the corners open for a second. Took too long. And the defense goes ahead and fouls them to slow things down.
What about the corners? The big collapso. Morant's paint presence and the roll very obvious. Right corner. Shmoney. No, of course. You've got to still time it at the end of it, unfortunately.
Get a chance to go ahead and take the lead here. Looking to run a little bit of five-out offense. Has the right hash open for a moment. Doesn't get it to him. Left corner shot. Doesn't go. Gets the offensive rebound, though. Everybody's coming back from the fast break defense. We're going to attack the paint. Drops it to the right side. Right hash, right hash, right hash. Misses again. Another rebound. Back-to-back rebounds on the offensive side for Cote d'Ivoire.
Look at Warner. You called it, India. 27 boards last time out. Not on this occasion. In transition on the break. Yama down. Ghana 7-4. Back-to-back possessions for Cote d'Ivoire. Cannot make it count.
You can see the difference when your point guard is not an AI for Ghana. As Warner, who had a beautiful triple-double last time out, sparks that one. Tied up at 7 apiece.
Tim's a shooting guard for Cote d'Ivoire who got going versus Senegal. 21 points, 9-11 shooting, but 11 dimes. Now, the center sort of typically gets assists, particularly for Cote d'Ivoire, because Warner is grabbing the boards. You have the outlet pass, and then in transition, whether it's three, running into the paint, you just rack up assists that way. I play the big. I'm very fortunate to get assists for not doing much. Tim's, who I think technically is Tim's 07, 11 assists, breaking down the defense, nearly half of his team's total, not just in the game, but towards the tournament so far. Have a look at the shooting guard to take over offensively.
Morant misses that one. We'll talk about those defensive adjustments that either of these teams need to make, but we're almost at the end of the first quarter. Here's Morant. Down by 4. 2 seconds. Got to chuck it up. Pass fake. Shot from the right side, and he greens it right before the end of the first quarter. And it's going to be 11-9. Cote d'Ivoire up by 1.
Nicely done. Have a look at the corners continually, fam. Another little collapse. Another green beam. Good to see Ghana timing their shot. India, we've been waiting for some quality, not just defensively, but who will step up and break those shackles and start to find the color green. Hey, you've got a few from both sides.
You sure do. Bit of a back and forth ball game. Thought he's going to feed the cut. Gets us to the right corner, expecting the right defender to drop. Doesn't happen. Back over. You've got a lot of traffic there. 3 seconds. Here's the cut inside, and the defense falls asleep in the paint. And we're tied up at 13 apiece.
We're talking about rotations, and the players, to be fair, talking about them themselves. Corner needs to cover there on the roll. And you have the player who's on the big man, going to the hash. It's nice and easy. In hindsight, when it's live, fam, you can just appreciate a breakdown or two. It's part of why the corners are just wide open all the time.
Morant thought he probably had a little bit of space there off the dribble move, but the contest was yellow. Back over. Hello. Shoot it. Thank you. Misses it. Back again. 2 for $1 on the offensive rebound. Doesn't cash it one more time. He decides to go up with it. He gets Ghana the other way.
Is that Eligius? Center, sorry, not Eligius, that's apologies, Senegalese center, the big man. I'm gonna refresh, to be quite honest, in here and get my pixels back, because I want to be calling out who is making these big blocks in the paint. Whoever takes down Warner deserves the respect.
Had a big chance to go ahead and take the lead, but instead he misses, and it's Cote d'Ivoire on the fast break that take a 2-point lead. This should be a good matchup. Cut from the left side. Gets the easy bucket, and we're back and forth, tied up at 15 apiece.
So glad we get to see this one played out in its entirety. We've been wanting, as I said, the quality, the green, a close game as well. If you're a neutral watching along, you might find your favorite nation, your second favorite nation. Talked about Tim's being the key offensively, really good at finding dimes late on in the shot clock. Here, tries a bailout pass back to Tim's, who has it open. Cannot make the deep 2 go. I just cannot make a point, or that ends well for the commentator right now. The big man, I said defensively, just smashing it. He's getting dunked on. Talking about Tim's being a goat offensively, can't hit a shot. India, take over for me.
It is the Cassius Kirk. That is Nate. Please slide into his DM with all the hate. As Cote d'Ivoire. Warner, big fella with the shot. Misses it. Wide open. Can't get it to go, though. Almost steps out of bounds. Has to go ahead and throw that one inside. Looked like it was going to be a turnover, but it's going to be Ghana still with the possession. Moran at the top of the key. 2 minutes left in the second. Looking to extend the lead. Gets it down low for the slip, and the lead is now 4.
Close game, and the Cote d'Ivoire went in comfortable favourites, and I said try and use that time not just to show off, but good time in your shot. They could use a little bit of that right now. What's about for Ghana? Morant stepping up. India, you called that one, so half the team's on point here.
They continue going back and forth, but now they've got a couple of missed shots as they're going to miss that one. Ghana has a wide open shot. They take it. The long two is no good. Rebound secured by Cote d'Ivoire. Now it's just fun to say.
You found your
that one.
word fluency just as the offensive fluency's out there on the court, complimenting each other big time.
Got a couple of nice candles next to me here, so we're enjoying this afternoon broadcast. This candle is hot cocoa and cream. Getting ready for December, you know?
Is that what we can call this commentary doing?
Yes. Maybe Oreo might be a better fit, but that shot doesn't go. They've continued to miss some tip ball. Ghana right back with it. Defense showing up for Ghana. Is that pass cross court? Back over to Morant, but the defense is right there in front of him. And that's going to be a quick foul. Don't like the foul as you already had 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Now you give them a full reset of 14.
India, it's a massive pet peeve of mine. Game management is something that professionals I know are elite at, but that's just a basic one. I don't care how much of the ball they're showing you. Please, because how often do you then concede off the next 14 as well? It frustrates me knowing.
Amen to that. Especially when you're, you know, they're blinking, right? If they're blinking on stamina. Nice jam from their left corner cut. Especially if they're blinking, you got 2 seconds, you got 3 seconds. It's just bad fundamentals.
And maybe if it's not like a tier 1 nation, tier 2 nation, these are the things to elevate to tier 1. I don't want to be too critical because, as I said, Cote d'Ivoire in his favourites, and Morant stepping up and saying, hey, you had the co-streamer on before. Ghana are here to play. Our connection is sorted, as are our team comms and chemistry. You called out Warner for being elite in the paint. We're starting to, if not horse the boards, at least compete. If not start to be on top of the total, at least on the half, with Morant on take and his big man with Mamba. Let's see if they can get cooking here in the third.
Cote d'Ivoire with 16 rebounds compared to Ghana's 9. The shooting is slightly less compared to Ghana, but it's those second chance opportunity that's helping them out. Morant. Excuse me. Ghana with it. Passes it. Yeah, you know. Yeah, just a little bit too many snips.
Moderate, you know. You could spread out your candles throughout the day.
Has Ghana lost a player on a disconnect? Because there's a couple of defenders that just seem out of place. I'll check on the next time out. See, look at that. Like, who's guarding the right hash?
Yeah,
okay,
I didn't believe
they
so.
figured it out.
I think it's just honestly throwing something different at them. It was early on the first, again, tech issues, whatever it was. You still have your offensive game that you can sort out defensively. I understand that air makes it difficult. When you got your full complement of 5, there's no excuse. What we haven't really developed yet, I want to say India, is the exact defensive sort of staple meta-wise. We had Coach Muti very recently chatting with him on a different broadcast about the lock needs to keep fighting around the screens. He was adamant. I don't care. You ain't switching. I want my lock staying on. I'm fine with throwing some random players at random players and see what sticks.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, you know, you've heard the fake defense or fake comms where you have locks being like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. It's like, what does that even mean? Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, man.
Cut from the right side, left corner wide open, and they get a nice foul because that left corner dot was there all day. Taking it to the rack, but you're met with 2 defenders from Ghana.
Wonder if the manual dunk is something that players from this region, if we're seeing it in other regions get used more and more. The precision dunk badge goes along with it. You can decide to use that right stick. Lovely feed, waiting, green time EM. Friends, you can just hold in the square if you want. See if you go for a dunk or not, driving or standing, or you bring out the meter, you start to time it, give yourself every chance for posterizing play.
Nice move there at the right hash. Every single time they seem to get open, the contest comes in later on, and they can't seem to connect, as that one's going to be jammed on the top of two people.
Morant finding the feed, but early. I love it. You got the cuts working, as we spoke about for Ghana before. The corners were doing nicely while Morant was struggling from three.
Oh.
It's another opportunity to run a little something here.
Yeah, they just get open, but they can't find the green window. Running a cut, dots the right corner. Defender is all over him. A little bit of a fadeaway shot. Misses once again for Ghana. Cote d'Ivoire. That was going to be a loose ball. Goes out of bounds.
The hustle, and in that first sort of allotment before we get under 14 India, so you'll be happy to see players going for the on-ball strip, but also doing it nice and early into the shot clock.
Yeah, you got to figure out what you're going to attack with, because you don't want to be left blinking under 5 seconds, and then you're not sure where you want to go, what play call you're going to have. But they've got 14 seconds here, plenty of time to call a cut if that's what they choose to do. And there's the cut from the right corner, but I knew it. The defense knew it. Ghana with the steal. Ghana top of the key. Too deep of a shot. Gets you right back. Morant from the left hash. Yoinks it. Offensive rebound for the easy putback.
Man, and even the defensive board's not going now, unfortunately, for Cote d'Ivoire. They might have the absolutely fire uniforms. They might have been balling early on. Ghana are a different side. If I said that fourth spot overall is well up for grabs, this could be a massive result that determines it. I tell you what, the bounce of the ball off the rim is going one way, and it ain't Cote d'Ivoire's.
No, it is not, as they are once again not able to connect on their shots, but they do go ahead and get defensive plays happening. Get the steal once again. Back-to-back threes. This time it goes. And the lead is now 16.
That was George, play point guard, play shooting guard, mixed that up, not just in eFIBA Season 2 so far, but in the little warm-ups and sort of trial matches that were going on. We talked about how some of these rosters and different teams run rather deep. In Africa, it is not necessarily the case. As such, you need your players to cover multiple positions to give yourself every chance of different depth, different lineups, and certainly different builds, because of course they're using their own accounts.
Less than a minute left here in the third quarter. Strong defensive play on the right side. As the team in white, Cote d'Ivoire, gets it back. They're going to get fouled. That is the second foul inside 2 minutes. That's going to take him to the bonus. Oh, and he looks like he misses the first one. Gets the second one, however. Morant on the right side, passes it cross court, top of the key to the big fella. Hits the front of the rim, and that's going to be another foul, but unfortunately it's a transition take, I believe, which is going to be one easy basket for Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, I'm worried. Ghana, we're hyping them up as we should. Talking about defensively superb. I know that the adrenaline's going. You were saying India defensively, we don't even know what to call for some of these defensive sets. I just want to see not transition fouls, not fouls when you're already in the bonus, not giving Cote d'Ivoire a sniff whatsoever.
See, now I'm getting trolled on social media about my quizzes. Like, come on. Come on.
I thought I went much worse than you, so if anyone's getting trolled, I wouldn't worry too much. I'll tell you who's up.
I just saw my notifications start to flare up.
Who's not getting trolled right now is T-Neds, because I've been talking a lot about Warner, the big from Cote d'Ivoire. The Ghanaian big was a big feature, 22 and 13 in the loss to Egypt, and stepping up game once more. plate out of the timeout, the end of the third quarter. Doesn't go, a 14-point margin. Cote d'Ivoire have so much to do. Please tell me the late fouls are going to have nothing to do with a potential comeback.
We'll see if there's a comeback brewing for Cote d'Ivoire. I swear, I feel like I'm at an art museum every time I say it.
It's fancy, baby. Get fancy with it. Feel like T-Neds if you want. In the post, shooting and one. Yes, please. Contested, fouled, greened. Ghana stepping up big time.
What a three-point play. Not something you see often with a hook shot. As they extend the lead. Oh my goodness, terrible defensive play. Oh, and the great one here. Ghana with the steal. Ghana! Oh, they can't get the layup to go.
What was that? Is it laziness? Was it a plan? Because the player stayed back, and so defensive player just stayed on him. And fair enough, I'll just chill back here. I thought was going to collect an easy transition to Cote d'Ivoire's mental. Going to be tested here immensely because Morant finding space. Defenders honestly basically crabbing themselves. It's quite odd. In the paint, it's a contest. On that perimeter, it's anything but.
Question about it. As the team in white gets fouled, they've got about less than 4 minutes if they want to go ahead and string together a lot of defensive stops and a lot of offensive buckets to come back in this one.
And they find Timms flaring out at the top. He was money last time out. Oh, so many wide opens, India. They're not just, you've created yourself a decent look. It's a great look. You've got to take it. And yet, welcome to 2K24. You miss one, you miss two, you start missing them all.
Let's see if they continue missing them here. Oh, looks like you could have gotten a steal there, just mistimed it. Ghana with the three, doesn't go. Back out to the left side. Green for a second.
Finally.
A little weird. I don't know if he airballed it or not.
You're all good. It's the corner. And to be honest, it's as a commentator in 2K24, as we're finding out, India, we keep getting hyped up, but the wide opens aren't going. So you're hesitant. You're sitting, watching, praying if you're of that persuasion, will it drop? And it does. 14-point margin in transition. Guess who's just chilling now? But from the right corner, 11-point game. The gamble pays off. And are we going to see this run extended halfway through the fourth? Cote d'Ivoire, breath of life in this contest.
We talked about how they need to string together a few stops and buckets. They've started to do that, but they've got to continue to do that. There's the tip ball. There's the steal. Did they go out of bounds? Did they call timeout? Or was it backcourt? I believe they called timeout. Clutch play.
Ghanaian timeout, India. Clutch call from you. Clutch play.
Here we go. They got the stop. Now can you cut the deficit to single digits? Flare up. Has the pick. No space there just yet. Has the slip. Left side dot. Nothing there. To the right hash. Wide open shot, and he missed it. And now it's Ghana, who has a wide open shot themselves, and they miss it. But they get their rebound right back. The point guard wasn't able to secure it on the defensive side, but he gets a tip. Loose ball. Cote d'Ivoire has it. Launches it to the left side, slowing things down back at the top of the key. It's chaotic here. But it's going to be right corner. Right corner. Right corner. Ay, and that's going to be a foul the other way.
Man, if you hear me saying one more, and you're like, oh, so you're just going for one team, are you? No, we want good 2K played. We want the top level 2K played. I said the mental is going to be tested here for Cote d'Ivoire can get back into it. Ghana have been playing fast and loose, slinging that rock around. Maybe they're thinking skill booster, points to assist ratio, but please, just hold it. A little bit more caution.
Oh my goodness, they've had so many opportunities to go ahead and cut the deficit, even down to maybe 6. But unfortunately, they just haven't been able to
straight back in. He's taken, I think, the last 4 by my count now, and they are good looks in any other 2K. I just got to say it, if you're missing a few on the fly, please just go back to defending, try and find a dot, a cut, anything, because your shot will not go. You cannot shoot your way out of it. It's not the way for Cote d'Ivoire to get back in it. Might be too little too late as it is.
We'll see if they go ahead and pull out a rabbit. But so far, it doesn't look like Ghana wants to give up on this lead like they did earlier. Morant looking to extend the lead. Dots it over to the left side. Left corner shot. That's going to be the dagger, in my opinion, as they extend the lead to 15.
Oh man, and it happened for Tims to play before. It did the exact same thing. Corners have been not just open, they've been hitting. Needed to realize that well before I did, because it was called the follow-up. Surely the dagger, and Ghana can do little to nothing to ruin what they've done here. The replay, the restart, whatever you want to call it, it has been remarkable. Cote d'Ivoire will be kicking themselves when they watch back this game film, maybe wondering if they could have done anything from that mental side to get a bit more locked in from the get-go. And I'm scared to say it, India, will they be looking at fourth spot? Will they be looking at this game as the one that determined fourth spot?
Looking at the schedule here, I believe we're going to have Morocco and Cote d'Ivoire as our next matchup. But for now, we're in the final seconds of this one as Ghana just way to play as they knock down another three. Excuse me, Cote d'Ivoire does there.
It's rough. They've got the talent. They've got the ability. I keep talking about the big man, Warner. It's not good enough for me to stop there. Cote d'Ivoire, George, who I said, can play point guard, can play shooting guard. He's got take now. It's too little too late. There's another player with take as well, I believe. Just popping it. It doesn't matter. Dirk, start fighting me in the chat again. I want to see players not waiting for Mamba. I want to see them picking their speciality, activating it, and making it a game before your opponents just sort of having fun with it. Because Ghana have been loving this last quarter, playing at will, with freedom, kicking it from deep, exclamation point survey, exclamation point in this game. Ghana quality, 3 shooting to boot.
And that's gonna do it for us on this game. It is 55-40 Ghana. Just putting out a great performance on all aspects of it. You had Spammy that went ahead and had himself a double-double. Morant with almost a double-double himself. Just a great performance all around from Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. They were in it in the early part of the first half, but unfortunately just were not able to hold on. They had the open shots on the offensive end, but they just could not find the green window.
Been enjoying watching the development. Things can change from sort of play to play, if you like, from game to game. A fast shooting start translates to a good game overall, time and time again in 2K24. Morant able to get not the first, but the second and third to drop. And from there, the court, the whole floor opens up. You're able to pass it. All of a sudden, you get a mate on takeover. Fair play. The co-streamer surprises. To be honest, I didn't expect that today. Is now matched with the brilliance on the court as well. Shout out Ghana.
Yeah, and of course, we've got Ghana that just went ahead and played Cote d'Ivoire, but then we still have yet to see Morocco take on Cote d'Ivoire. That should be a fun matchup there as they just lost the game to Ghana. How are you going to be able to bounce back, especially when you're going up against a juggernaut that is Morocco? We only have one game left, and that's going to be that game that will show you. So no need to bounce around. We'll just stick to that one. But it goes to ask the question, do you feel like we will see an upset, or do you feel like Morocco's just got this one in the bag?
It is hard to see anything other than a convincing Moroccan victory. I am a bit worried for Cote d'Ivoire in terms of what I mentioned earlier, the impact of that game we just watched, and the, what do we want to call them, fourth spot supremacy. Like, it was everything. Top 3 look like locks. Now, we'll see how Egypt end up performing after today, a disappointing result or two. So I'm not keeping tabs with the overall leaderboard like sometimes I do. But at the start, if I can go back to that, it was 4th place on the line. That's a big matchup. You take that L. Then you got to face Morocco. I don't know. You'd be demoralized at this point. You would be frustrated, kicking yourselves. You got to back it up on broadcast, by the way. And we know that the players can tune in and have a little look and get excited, or sort of message your friends and family. It increases the pressure, the intensity. I really hope, for Cote d'Ivoire's sake, it increases the quality, and that Tim's at least can drain the first 3 or 2. Then maybe we might have a game on.
Yeah, it's all about kind of getting that fast start, getting those couple of shots under your belt so you have confidence in your play calling, your defensive rotations, and your shot-making abilities as well. Just a quick recap. Earlier, you had Morocco that beat Ghana 77-31. Then you had Cote d'Ivoire that beat Senegal 68-12. And then, of course, you just saw Cote d'Ivoire go ahead and lose to Ghana. But you also earlier had Algeria that got the win against Egypt 78-30. And then the final matchup of the night is going to be Morocco taking on Cote d'Ivoire in just a few minutes as we wait for that. It's been fun watching the African region go ahead and duke it out. Some federations playing for the first time, like Ghana, but still seeing some success. Of course, you know, they lost to Morocco, but that's kind of expected when you're playing the #1 seed. But then they do go ahead and get a couple of other wins. So it'll be interesting, especially when skill boosters come into play, if they can kind of sneak on by to the top 4 spots. Because remember, we've got 8 national federations playing today.
India, I know you want to do the rundown. I know
It's
you
all
want to
you.
do the rundown,
all you,
but
Vic.
mate,
You got it.
I got noties popping off, and so I wouldn't normally ever do this. But I think before you mentioned that the social media team had created something.
Yeah.
I've been getting a few pings, something going off in my ear a little bit. You reckon we can have a little look? Would that be all right?
That'll be all right. You know, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. That's pretty much how my face was, because I was excited. I was like, gotcha. You look silly. And then you asked me the questions. But there's another one that they made fun of me. It was a video, but I knew who the artist was. It was just, you know, sometimes it's like you remember faces and not names. I remembered the music and not the name.
And mate, like, respect, because Alfred Nobel, you knew what he had for breakfast, you knew his sort of bedtime routine, you're all over it. I was so impressed with that knowledge. Like, blew me away. The preparation, friends, that you get from the best in the business, that's India. He's prepared for anything.
I read the rundown. I don't know what you're going to tell you. I'm a big fan of the rundown. You know, the run-up show, man, whether it's 7 a.m. or 4 a.m. that I got to wake up on this side of town, I'll make sure to read the rundown. Forgot my train of thought. Oh, that's right. We've got 8 federations, national federations, that are playing here tonight. Top 4, after it's all said and done, we'll go ahead and move on to the African regional finals, where it'll be like the semifinals, and they'll duke it out to play the finals, and the winner of that finals will then get a chance to go to Jönköping, Sweden. However, the other 4, the bottom 4, unfortunately, we would have to say goodbye to. And that's never fun. That's never great. But who those 4 national federations are, we will not know till this final game is played between Morocco and Cote d'Ivoire, and we go ahead and get the skill boosters as well. But before we get to gameplay, we do have Yao from Ghana. So let's go ahead and bring on Yao, as he definitely had himself a great game. What's going on, man? Welcome to the broadcast. You just had a great performance against Cote d'Ivoire. Coming into tonight, you were the 5th seed, 1 place out of top 4, moving on to the next round. What was the message amongst the team coming into tonight?
We just had one message, like we have to make the top 4. Like you have to make the top 4 and get into the semifinals. Then we see from there. Like there was no chance for us to be safe. It was either 1st to 4th.
It's a good message, if you're gonna have one. Is it because
our coach was very hard on us, actually? Like the whole week we were training non-stop, morning, evening. So yeah, we were very prepared for today.
I love to hear that. A lot of discipline and preparation. Can I ask what coaching specifically? Is it just games, or are there like drills or other training?
The other training, like our plays, like how we go about our plays and everything. So sometimes he pairs us up, we play against each other to try and figure out how to defend and our offense and all that.
I appreciate you coming on today, but before you go, is there a national federation that you feel like is the toughest competition? We know Morocco's there, but give me another team out there that you feel like kind of gives you a hard time?
I would say Egypt, because that's the only team you have lost to apart from Morocco. So yeah, I'll say Egypt is a tough team, but I feel like if we meet them again, yeah, we can get the win.
Fantastic. And it is that proximity. Friend from Australia, I can relate to other nations that you can only play a few of them. If you said top 4 is the goal, do you feel confident after that game, or are you like the rest of us watching this last game with anticipation and excitement?
I'm very confident that we are getting the top 4, and I'm very confident I'm going to be talking to you in the semi-finals about how we qualify to the final. So yeah, just get ready for me.
Well, hey, we look forward to seeing you out there. Congratulations again on the success so far with Ghana. We'll see how the leaderboard shapes out. Best.
Thank you very much.
So good, man. So good, India. Oh my goodness. The confidence, the excitement is just like, I don't know. I wish I had that in any form of my life, let alone on the big stage. I've been saying, friends, that normally with the leaderboard and stuff like that, try and do a little bit of pencil and paper, work it out for myself. We don't know about the skill boosters, and therefore things can change. What we do know, into this game already, Morocco and Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire, in my opinion, need this win. Now, it's all good and well to say that, sure, one game you can do anything, and they can. Morocco have been superb, not just today, last game day, and throughout the national competitions that they have. They have fierce rivalries with Algeria, with Egypt. Did mention that Egypt's performances today could make things interesting with the top 4 starting in 3rd. Lovely jam. And if anything can happen, Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, however you want to say it, it is time to step up. I'm going to get stepped up in my seat here. Lock in for a big game, and that 3-point shooting from Morocco is going to be a feature, friends, whether they're hitting or whether they're not. Can the Cote d'Ivoire defense step up figuratively and literally against Ghana? You're able to not do as much defending as we have an air ball. I've got a little noise that normally make when we have one of those, but in a big game. Just reference it and move straight on. The confidence to take it, George. So, I do respect that. We were just talking about Ghana early today. We got ourselves into a situation where we got a full game in the end, which we're very excited for. We're talking about early shooting. You're going to hear it in Sweden. You're going to hear it in the lead-in. In 2K24, if you miss, I'm going to say even 2 shots, certainly 3 in a row, you got to stop shooting. You've got to just work your hidden attributes, if you like, back up, a percentage play with a pass, a cut, or a drive, and then you're going to find that your 3-ball starts greening again. Get that window a little bit bigger. Certainly don't be taking any contested rubbish like that. But the back and forth play, the air balls again. India, they're tempting me to make my noise with the air balls. I don't want to, but that's 2 already in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that air ball's looking like me shooting out there. Not great, but you've got Morocco looking to start the night great, looking at it. All right, bro. That's got to be like pass interference or something. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. But it'll be interesting to see if Cote d'Ivoire can keep this one close and for how long, or if they come up with what I believe would be a massive upset. Takes the shot. The team in red is Morocco. The team in white is Cote d'Ivoire. Have I said let's go ahead a lot today? I don't even know.
I feel like I heard you say it once, but to be honest, there's been so much action on these things. It's only in rehearsal that I can let my mind wander and get there. All the different permutations, India, the start I was going on about how I try and write up a little pencil and paper leaderboard and keep a, I want to say close to the end result. What we end up getting can be very different indeed. You said here Morocco should win, maybe even will win. Cote d'Ivoire, lovely start, and by start I mean opening 30 seconds. It is going to be near impossible for them to close down the 3-point shooting firepower. The Moroccan team not running a conventional lock. It's basically a second shooting guard, 3 lights out shooters, have a big look out, see how many Moroccan threes are attempted and made.
Back-to-back offensive boards. They had a chance at a dunk, but they passed it out to the left hash for the three, and they missed it twice since then. Back over, left hash, high-fiving each other, and they go ahead and get that one to go.
That's confidence, baby. Just step right in front of my teammate to take that one. You can watch it from behind.
Mastua with badge. Misses. Offensive rebound secured, however. Back over to him on the right side. Coming back, less than a minute left to go in the first. Down low, inside is the big man with no one there to defend him.
Hey, you lights out from three. You open up the paint. Nice and simple. It's why you need to take them early doors and sort of progress from there. If you never know if it's going, you can't progress. Hey, guess who's the leading scorer for Morocco? And of course, Bottles again, India. I'm having a shocker today.
Way to jinx him. Way to jinx somebody.
I tried to let go before, but I came crawling back. I'm one bad trivia answer or missed call away from being done.
You sound like my ex, trying to get away, but you keep crawling back. Here's a fast break opportunity, and it's Morocco that finish at the rim. And they double up the score once again. It's 16-7.
Thankfully, it is Brax as well. Just helps me out there, keeps me on the broadcast for a few minutes longer.
There you go. I got a lot more where that came from. Top of the key, Warner. Saw him dominate with the offensive rebounds a lot earlier on. Wide open on the right side. Nowhere to be seen is the defense. As he knocks down the 3, 2, 1, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. It is 16-10. Morocco with the lead over Cote d'Ivoire.
We might see Mastua try that from backcourt. I'm glad that he didn't, as that midi will go to get the second quarter underway. I was talking earlier, India, about 2 shots, maximum 3 that don't go early. You just got to put the 3 ball away. The shooting slumps, the hidden attributes that are going down, the green window depletion, like, you just can't do it. Surely you agree with me there.
I definitely do. Here's another fast break opportunity. They're going to go for the 3, possibly. Yes, they are. Are they going to get it, though? No! Miss from the top of the key. You know, I feel like coming into tonight, I used to say Ivory Coast, obviously, but now I've just said Cote d'Ivoire like 97 times by now. And every time, I guarantee, I still don't know if it's correct, but it sounds like it is. I'm going to keep going.
I promise you, brother, I don't use that word lightly. You are crushing it. It's perfection.
Yeah, don't break promises.
I only started using that word last year, to be quite honest, because I was like, it's a pretty heavy word, man. And yeah, Cote d'Ivoire is beautiful from you. Love what we're seeing on the court as well. A bit of pick and pop, pick and roll. The corners have been open on the cut with 2 there. Brax in response, and that is the 3rd miss in a row. So the Nate guarantee, not a promise in it, not a promise, but the guarantee, Brax needs to stop shooting for a while.
Shot there from Mastua doesn't go. Offensive rebound secured as well as the putback. The lead is now extended to double digits to 10. Nice little dribble moves. Gets past the defender, but they're going to catch up to him. A lot of traffic on that left-hand side. Looking for them to spread it apart a little bit. Big man comes up to go ahead and set a pick, but that's going to be a foul. Clock is going to give him 2 seconds additional on the shot clock. What are they going to do? Here's a cut. Great job there by the defense of Morocco to go ahead and swarm that one down. Once again, making it tough for them to get any opportunity on the offensive side. And there is a man wide open on the left hash. I don't even think he moved a muscle to get back on the defensive side of things. Going to take the midi on the 2, and the fadeaway's good, and the lead is 12.
I wonder if that's a just misdirected pass, quite simply, because you do not want your big taking that final one. He should be at the rim where he's been so dominant. It's going to be another backcourt. Cote d'Ivoire and these fundamentals. It's such a frustrating situation when you watch it on, you can't do anything about it, and you see moments of brilliance and quality, and then some basic things. 3rd time lucky, by the way. Your featured player, your captain, if you want, deciding not to go up with that in the end.
Just waiting for them to go ahead. Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to horse him down low, but the defender's right there in front of him. Doesn't give him any open space. But here's a wide open shot. Decide not to take it. Had the long 2. Decided to take a contested 1. That one doesn't go. And now the fast break opportunity for Morocco. Looking to back it up. Don't want to take the easy 2. Trying to look for some space behind the perimeter. A lot of traffic there. That's going to be a long two. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound secured in the putback as well.
The space that he would have wanted from the big. And I don't mean separation. I mean he's still out there wondering, can I maybe get something in transition myself? Friend, please get yourself back into the paint. Warner has been brilliant throughout today, the entire game day long. And then again, a weird pass when the player's not even close to his spot. There's a defender there. It's on an intercept. So then you just chuck it out yourself. Please, you're making this way too easy with this power forward and center of Morocco.
Top of the key shot. Gets it to go. What a beautiful three. They just continuously get the open look.
Stuart stepping up big time. So Brax was not hitting and needs to put it away. Morocco obliging, listening, and letting standard small get to work and enjoy himself. You're going to find him take, I don't know, the next 5 shots, 8 shots. He's got the hot hand from the perim, from the mid-range. And in response to, I don't know, we said make it interesting. I'm just glad we've seen some points. I said you don't want to see your big doing that. If you are going to do it, friend, please green it. Because at the other end, I told you what's going to go down for the next 5, 8 possessions. Enjoy the show.
The lead just continues to get piled on here. It is 30-12. A minute left to go here in the second quarter. As you've got ourselves less than a minute left to go in the second. Takes a shot from the left side. Foot was on the line. That's going to be a 2, but they miss it anyway. Yeah, come on. You got a wide open man. Left corner shot misses.
Just a nice little fake. Hey, Brax, it ain't going. India, can they turn on the stream, please? I've told you what's going to go and what's not. It ain't psychic ability. It's just 2K24. Your hot hand or not. Please, Brax, you get that ball next time. A nice little pass. Some good defensive plays. Then you can start shooting it again. Mustua has not missed his last 5 shots. Get it back in his hands.
Oh my God, what a block there by Morocco. Goes all the way out of bounds. Wait.
The smile. I love that. Straight back and locked in as soon as I say it, but you love it. You love the excitement, the big defensive play.
Hold on, I gotta see how that's their ball. He blocked it.
Block it straight back into them, you know? Reward the good play. Either that was right at the end of the shot clock. To be honest, I see a big chase down or big swat of any kind.
That's what it was.
You give that man the ball.
This is why I like having you around. It was a shot clock. Nice to have an extra set of Nate eyes. Oh, and another one! Get that block!
Have player in the half. Earn your VC. Love it. To answer a question in the chat, I am dumb and stupid, but my co-caster here is India, so referring to him and not either of these nations. Cote d'Ivoire, Morocco.
I just read the chat. I feel like when my name, when our faces come up, I'm just gonna be like, "Hi, I'm India." Yeah, Nate, can't you tell that MAR and CIV don't mean that India's playing?
Hey, I'm new to eFIBA Season 2. I'm learning slowly.
There, I've got my post-it note ready next time, right here. We might have to flip it and reverse it camera-wise, but it's ready to go. As you get a shot from the right hash, nothing there. Defensive rebound secured. Well, hey, shout out to the gentleman in the chat. Yeah. I had a brain circuit and I didn't know which way to go with it, but I'm gonna go with Jesus for now. I appreciate you, saying that you were wrong. Nah.
You're good. As I said, it's very unfortunate because any other time I would have made a mistake. That was just like a broken clock. Twice during the day I was right.
Oh man, that was awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you for joining us. I'm gonna assume it's one of your first times watching the stream. If it is, welcome. Hope you're enjoying it. You've got 61 national federations competing for a chance to go to Sweden. Only 8 of them make it. Only 4 of them make it from the African region, and 1 of them is going to get a chance to compete in the next tournament or the next stage of it, and that's going to be Morocco as they're up 38-12. About less than 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Running around is Cote d'Ivoire, trying to find an open space. Back over to the hash if you want a quick shot, and they get it to him, but they can't get it to drop.
A few other comments in there as well. We want to respect this Moroccan play because Mastua is surely going to keep stroking it, keep making it. He's going to be very hard to stop. And if they start doubling, we'll just find the easy feed, or you try the corner. Respect George, who we got on our screen now as well. He has not been able to make them drop so far this game. But hey, Twitch chat, honestly, you're all good. Yeah, and I have seen you in the chat before. Don't you worry. Don't you worry one little bit. I like questions of all kind, apart from trivia. We got some French, India, and I'm tempted to sort of try it out and see how close I am. So do I have anyone's permission to do this, or do I just stay in my lane?
I mean, if you want to get fired, do you, baby?
Well, yeah, I feel like I'm on that trajectory anyway. I might as well just continue with a good thing. C'était une erreur, which I think is just simply like it's an error, referring. It was in the chat around the time of the weird sort of deep two, if you like, where I'm calling out the big man for going for that, not rolling to the rim. We'll give it a go. Mais les gars, vu forcement marqué à 3 points. 𝐂𝐇𝐄 𝐂𝐊 �H𝐿 I got 3 points. Everyone's got that down. It's like, but the dude clearly wants to score 3 points when all he does is miss. So I think someone kind of agreeing, kind of not, sort of saying that's what we would like to do, and you should be looking for the 3, but they're not dropping at the moment. Any French people in chat listening on, apologies for bottling that.
Oui.
Yeah.
Merci.
Should have just gone with that.
Jesus, no, you'll actually have, since this is a blowout, I'm just going to kind of detour here. You're actually going to have Vince and Chris that are going to be back on the broadcast on the 31st of October with the European region back at play. So make sure you check that out. That'll be 12 p.m. Eastern. So y'all can have fun with the math. Figure it out. But we're going to lock in for the last minute 30 here. Top of the key, doesn't want to take the shot, gets it to the right side. Left hash is open, now it's the left corner. Left corner thinks he's going to take the shot, so he goes in for the rebound. Back up top, Key gets the 3. Got the contest, got the 3 regardless.
So nicely done from both sides. Great offense, beat great defense all day, every day. Here's your prime example. And reverse jams must be nice. 43-19. You wanted that Moroccan flag and sort of forced it out of our main man there before India. I think at the end of this one, you're going to see it flying, but not before Cote d'Ivoire bigs start going flying themselves. A putback jam. Only can draw a laughing response over the opposite number. You've got to respect it. Cote d'Ivoire, alley-oops, putbacks, they've been entertaining throughout the day.
Oh, nice little move. They're coming in from Morocco down low in the paint. The post moves, A1. That's going to be another steal. Going the other way. Morocco, the team in red, is going to get fouled. Slowing things down, letting them play the half-court offense. Slams that one home. That's what we need. You know how you have...
Sorry, yeah, I was just looking at some of the stats from the other games and trying to work out. No, right on cue, brother. You can send it back. They don't even get 5 seconds of their offense because guess what? Quit match. Players out of bounds. Never mind. Enjoy the rest of the Moroccan offense. I'll go back to what I was doing.
All right, do you? That's going to be a foul. 50-21. I believe Morocco already had. Let me check. So here's something. It's skill booster wise, because Ghana did score 31 against Morocco. So we are now once again on skill booster watch. If Morocco can hold Cote d'Ivoire under 30, 9 points. You did not just send it to the line.
What is happening with us today?
Are you serious right now?
We're making, at times at least, lovely articulate points, and then immediately, hey, nah, they can have 30.
If you could see me, this is how I'm broadcasting the rest of the night.
Hey, I did. I keep making myself sit up a little bit more because I do get almost literally deflated when that happens. It is
Like, come on, bro.
what do I say? Difference between tier 1 and tier 2. Professionalism, keeping those standards high at all times. If the AI is starting to score on you in the paint, Morocco, that skill booster alongside the previous era, might be slipping away from you. I guess India, they're going to finish top spot. I said at the start of today, number 1, it's a lock. Maybe we can go a bit easy on them.
No surprise. Oh, that's going to be a foul. Pushed him real hard there. Doesn't get the and one, but he is going to have 3 free throws coming up. That's
Maybe
the
on the
second.
Other side of it, Cote d'Ivoire skill boosters. If we had our friends before from Ghana, full of smiles as they should have been, agreeing with me, saying that top 4's looking pretty good, Nate. Maybe, just maybe for Cote d'Ivoire, if this match result is beyond reach. Alongside watching the AI ball out, are there any available skill boosters to take advantage of? Give yourself every chance of making it out of that bottom 4 and progressing through. Because a reminder, these bottom 4 teams, they are done from this region after today.
Can't get that one. Rattles out. You've got Moody in the chat. Coach of the year for NBL Oz Gaming. Your big friend from down under. Again, his comments of how he believes ANZ is the best region outside of North America. I'm sure the Philippines will have something to say about it.
A few other nations in between. Still in the lane, Brax has got tape, but the feed just makes sense. Moody, not sure if you've been here the entire time, just tuned in. The store has been absolutely balling, getting the, I believe, what did I say, not the first shot, but the second and third to go, and from there, as you know, everything starts to drop, and then with the margin sort of breaking up, he's been feeding his team. He took a really, really nice midi earlier. He's sitting back now, Moody, so if you want them to do a show, you might need to go back a little bit because it's Brax time.
That 3 from the left corner goes, and they just continue to pile it on. It is 61-26. Morocco showing why they were the favorites coming into this tournament, showing why they are the defending champs, as that's another tip pass. Not going to be a steal, not going to be backcourt because of the tip pass. That 3 from Cote d'Ivoire goes.
And that's the quality that George has. I referenced some of the earlier stats in games, but they may well be confined to the history books. For Cote d'Ivoire, for season 2, another lovely green with take. A case of what could have been. Respect Cote d'Ivoire, play it out, play into the end as they do in Africa, but Warner has been immense almost every game. George, the second player in this lineup that I would expect to step up in big moments. It's great to have the highlights, you just don't want them to come when you're down by 35 or so.
If you want to see Nate struggle with more quizzes, go ahead and let us know in the chat. We've got exclamation survey up. It's always great when I get to embarrass other people, but not embarrass themselves, especially if you're a blowout. It's always fun. Exclamation survey. Let us know how we're doing, what you want to see, what you don't want to see. Is Morocco looking to fling that one out to the right, but the defender's right there. Back over. Oh, I thought it was a nice little dribble move. Got his teammate with play take, but he's going to swing the rock to the left corner. Back and forth of a game it was in the first couple of minutes, but since then it's been Morocco, the team in red. Let's just put the pedal to the metal. 69-29. Again, you've got a minute 30 to not let them... Oh, okay. Yeah. Up deep 3. See, here's the thing. If I'm Morocco, I'm milking this clock all the way. Like, I understand you already have first place no matter what.
Exactly.
But I'm still milking it.
Nah, I think they'd rather have their fun out there, getting their chance on broadcast to play. And got a comment before, as we pass the 30, Warner says, let's stop that talking point, quick, smart. Got 1 or 2 DMs, and I won't say who because they've asked for privacy. I said, can I share a broadcast? They said no. If you're gonna mention Europe during Africa, you better mention Africa during Europe. So whoever's on that show that night, if it's me,
I'll like that.
Talking your talk. If not, I'll be in the Twitch chat, making sure I'm adding to it because fair play. Morocco have been outstanding throughout. Barely put, what, a quarter wrong this entire tournament.
I can't believe Massour DM'd you that. That's crazy. That's insane. That's crazy. I like that, though. To be fair, we talked about Europe because the games hadn't started, and we needed to make sure you could hear our lovely voices that much more, as that's going to be a blocking foul. But they're not wrong, though. Respect's got to be given, but respect's also got to be earned, and that happens when we get to Sweden. Because that's where all of these hypotheticals and these questions get answered, right? That's when we really get to find out who's better than what region and how far they go.
Yeah, well, we've got a speculation.
Deep shot! Oh, and he greens it!
Yes, please. That's what we got. We're here to learn and discover. We can do our research, we can prep. We want to see what they've got on this stage, but we want to see what they've got in the literal stage in Jönköping, in Sweden. Bring it on, where all those questions will be answered, and Moroccan fans, I have a feeling, might be answering a few of these questions. We'll make sure that you're talked about in every broadcast and everyone going forward as we head to these regional finals of the Dribble 3. Morocco will be deep in those conversations, don't you worry.
They indeed will be, and that's about 10 seconds away. As Cote d'Ivoire are just going to go ahead and dribble this one out, and that's the end of that one. It is 81-35. Morocco on top as they remain hot and remain undefeated, at least throughout this tournament thus far. We'll see what happens as we get further and further away. But Nate, it's been a great night of matchups. We'll see if we can go ahead and get a quick little interview in. But what are your thoughts on today, or at least that matchup that we saw?
I think we talked about how this is a community tournament, so why not reference an excellent community question, which is why do I keep saying India? No, another question, which was, do you think there's going to be any surprises? And at the start of today, I said, friends, I believe Morocco has got top spot locked in. Have we seen anything to change that? Nah, no surprises there. Egypt maybe not performing as well as they could have. And then Ghana, the big story. We had an interview earlier. I think if and when we see these leaderboards, you're going to find out not just one twist India, but two when those skill boosters are added on.
You know, it's funny you talk about someone getting mad at you for saying India, which, hello, I'm India, just for the person that was in the chat. I had someone get in trouble because I called JT a great color commentary individual, so you can put the two and two together. But nonetheless, it's been a great night of matchups. It's been always fun to kind of see which national federations can kind of come out on top. And I think for me, as I talked about it, the biggest surprise, they haven't had as much success as they would like, and we'll see where the standings are when we check out the leaderboards here in a couple of minutes. But Ghana, right? They came in, they lost to Morocco to start off the night, but then they bounced back and they beat Cote d'Ivoire. And now we'll see if that's enough. Did they get enough skill boosters to overtake any of the federations? What happens with Tunisia? Do they go ahead and drop? Do they rise? All that is to be determined in just a few moments. But who do you think is going to round out the four? Do you feel like it's still kind of up in the air and you're not sure? Or do you want to make a prediction before we get to it?
So I decided when we got to that blowout there at the last game that I would go back to the pencil and paper, but admittedly this time, not literally, just a little spreadsheet, try to put it together. That's why I've sort of gone with expect a surprise and then another with the skill boosters. So without trying to give it away, anything away with all the people watching on, that's as far as I'm willing to go right now. It's certainly not what I thought it would be at the start of the day.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are going to have an interview in just a second or two. And chat, let us know. It's going to be George. Matter of fact, let's just go to right now. It's going to be George Emmanuel from Ivory Coast, aka Cote d'Ivoire. So chat, let us know if you have any questions that you want us to ask, and we absolutely will get it to them. What's going on, man? Congratulations on the big win. What's it been like for you to represent your country?
It's a good honor for us to represent our country in that competition, and we are so proud and to be here to face some of good countries, some of good 2K players. So we're happy.
I'm very glad to hear that you're happy. I want to keep the happy vibes going, but I must also ask George about that game against Ghana. Do you have any thoughts on that contest? Maybe one you thought you could win?
We thought we could win, but I think we had server issues, so many lag in the game, so we couldn't set our game, we couldn't make our shot. It's like a frustrated defeat, and we still don't realize that we lost that game.
Yeah, it's definitely got to hurt. You got to control your controllables. So I definitely understand you from that standpoint. We've got a question from the chat. It's from Moody, so I'm going to trust asking this one. I'm not familiar with this, so if I'm butchering any... Wait, Nate, do you know how to pronounce it?
Yeah, I'm so ready for you.
Go ahead,
George.
go ahead.
It's not basketball, but friend, your favorite player, Didier Drogba or Yaya Toure, if you had to pick one?
Wow. I couldn't choose between because there are two great football players in Cote d'Ivoire. I can't choose. I can't.
What about
at
basketball, who's winning in a 1v1 game?
Between Didier Drogba and Yaya Toure?
Yeah, Yaya with the length?
I think it's gonna be Drogba.
Ooh.
Drogba.
Why Drogba?
It's more powerful. His strength is too quick. I think he can win it. I'm going for
I
with
like
Drogba.
that one. Nate, I'm going to go ahead and steal yours since you had mine there. We've been going back and forth, and I've been kind of struggling with it. How do you pronounce your national federation's name? Because I know how I pronounce it, but how do you pronounce it?
Our national federation, it's
yeah, like I say Cote d'Ivoire. How do you say
it? It will sound Cote d'Ivoire.
I told you you're good, idiot. I told you I'm seeing no difference between
you're right. You're right.
And George.
Yeah,
right.
Cote d'Ivoire. I don't know.
It's like this. It is same.
Nate, you got one more?
Love it from both of you. I just wanted to say if you had a final message, at least at this stage of the competition, as we don't know that sort of overall standings yet. Do you have some words to summarize eFIBA Season 2 for you and your nation so far?
We were too happy. The organization were okay. The organization crazy. It's too good. Everything set up. It's too well. But one thing we have to say is that the schedule, we used to play on the weekend, and this time it was in the middle of the week. So I hope for the next time it will stand on the weekend, and it will give us it permit us to have our players. We meet a lot of players. We miss a lot of players with that in this bracket. So we hope for the next time, if we can set it on weekend, it will be great.
Hey, exclamation mark!
Thank
survey,
you
India.
all for
Let's make sure that everyone gets their voice heard. Why not?
And we appreciate you for hanging out with us. That is George from Cote d'Ivoire. Thank you once again, and best of luck with whatever journey you may have ahead of you. But you're right, exclamation survey. Any feedback, good, bad, the ugly, the nasty, the happy, the joy, the tears, the suffering, whatever it is, exclamation survey. But it is now time to take a look at the group standings. Are you ready, Nate?
Never ready, India. I love it when you ask me that, because the answer's the same every time. I do my little, drawings, my doodles, sort of X's and O's. You tell me, man, you're the one that gives the facts on this broadcast.
Well, for one of the few times on this broadcast, let's go ahead and take a look at Group A standings for the Africa region. Here they are. You've got Morocco at number 1. You've got Ghana at 2. You've got Cote d'Ivoire at 3, and Senegal rounding out the 4. Now, this is not including any skill boosters. So it'll be interesting to see what that kind of looks like here, as Morocco is at the number 1 spot. Let's go ahead and take a look at group number B, where things get a little bit more interesting, as you've got Algeria, you've got Egypt, you've got Nigeria, and Tunisia. That's going to round out the bottom spot over there. And again, this is not without the skill boosters. And this is where things get a little bit interesting, because we are going to now combine them and give you where we stand right now. Here is the leaderboard for the Africa region.
You ready?
I'm ready. There is your top 4. You've got Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, and there is Ghana in the 4th spot. But here's the thing, though. It's without skill boosters. So is Nigeria or Cote d'Ivoire going to go ahead and jump Ghana for the 4th spot? The moment of truth is here. Let's show the skill boosters of 3, 2, 1, and here are your skill boosters. The leaderboards are there. Oh, and it's gonna stay. Oh, wait, hold on. There's Cote d'Ivoire with 3 skill boosters. Can we show the final tally? Because it looks like the skill boosters are gonna come into play, and they are. It's Cote d'Ivoire. It's Ivory Coast. Pronounce it how you want it. They go ahead and jump ahead of Ghana to take the final spot in number 4. Nate, the skill boosters come into play again.
I said, wait for a surprise and wait for one more with the skill boosters. Cote d'Ivoire indeed ticking 3 for 3. And Ghana, despite that the clutch, the huge victory, it looks good for a moment until you realize they've only got 1 SB of their own. Fam, quick math means that Cote d'Ivoire advanced through to the final 4. That Ghanaian optimism, it was warranted. The mathematics, not quite there, aligned with them. Congratulations, Cote d'Ivoire, alongside, of course, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco. We're almost taking for granted. But that is a heartbreaker for Ghana. This competition, it is unique. I said, it's my very first thing on this show weeks ago. Please give the skill boosters the respect that they deserve. They may well decide your fate in this competition. It's exactly what's happened here.
I mean, I'm looking at the box score, and it looks like when they played Senegal, when Cote d'Ivoire played Senegal, they held them to 12 points. So that's where you got the under 30 skill booster, and of course a triple double as well. And the math added up for them to have 35% or more with the assist to points ratio there as well. But just, wow. You got to give props to Ghana. First time playing in this tournament. They absolutely showed up and showed out. They were so close to moving on to the next round, but we will go ahead and tell them goodbye. And it's Cote d'Ivoire that just sneaks into the final and 4th spot. Nate, your final thoughts on the night.
Commiserations again to Ghana, who that is an excellent debut in eFIBA Season 2. No doubt will be back in Season 3 and beyond. What it came down to in the end, India, at least on my watch, is team ball. We were talking about it for a bit of fun at the start. It's actually made a big serious point here for us at the end. Cote d'Ivoire, some brilliant play, rolling, popping, those cuts that we were talking about. You pass that ball around, you get rewarded here in eFIBA Season 2. You get in, if you're Cote d'Ivoire, to that final 4th spot. Congratulations as well to our champs, top of the group, Morocco, who were barely troubled throughout today.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Way to recap that. Always a pleasure to cast alongside you. Shout out again to Cote d'Ivoire for sneaking into that last spot. My name is Nate Suleiman. That's Nate Patrick. On behalf of him, myself, Avicii, and also the men and women behind the screens that make this all possible. Thank you. And you will watch Chris and Vince on October 31st for the European Regionals. You don't want to miss it. Good night.